What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Junction Podcast here for episode 130. And
What's
for
a
our
big 130? Gotta get that hype in there.
big 130 for our live viewers, truly apologize. We are very late. But I will just straight up say that I took a nap and did not wake up because my alarm did not go off. So for our live viewers, I am very sorry. But just letting you guys know that up front. For audio listeners, doesn't matter as much for you. But we're going to go through and do our pickups first real quick. We're going to be super fast with them. I've got a lot, and I don't want to bore the audio listeners and stuff like that. But if you are an audio listener, it's a good reason to come over to the video to check out some of the stuff.
You have to watch the video. This is mandatory. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Not asking you.
Gotta watch the video. Please watch the video. All right. The first thing I got is this Halloween Retro Realms set here. So it has Halloween and Ash versus the Evil Dead. It's a collector's edition. I got this on Woot, which is part of Amazon. It was I think I paid $20 for this, and it's normally $50. So the really cool. It's got trading cards, posters, Laurie Strode playable character, and a collectible 8-inch Michael Myers plush. So that's pretty cool. I'll show these Pokemon cards real quick. I got this Kyrogue EX10. Haven't opened it up yet. I just got this today. Cleaver V-Star set.
Not the biggest fan of that Pokemon, to be honest.
Well, I'm more for the packs. That's why I bought them.
Yeah.
I don't really care about I got 2 of these. So I told you, Mark, you got one a long time ago. I was like, I can't fucking. Mine didn't have. My GameStop didn't have any. But they came up on Amazon. I have 2 more coming, but they don't come for like 2 months. But
get back in stock.
Lucas did the same thing. He bought as many as he could. So it's just you can't get Pokemon cards. That's the problem. You cannot get them. It's very hard to get them.
So you're buying the extra statue just to get the packs?
It's just for the packs. Yeah, just for the packs. Yeah, probably like sell statues or something for like $10-15. I don't know yet, but okay. So got Gunbrick Reloaded from Limited Run Games on the Switch, $10. Rune Factory 3 special, $10. Love the Rune Factory series. I already had this on Switch, but I want on PS4 because I got a fight pad and an arcade stick, so I can play it there better. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection for the PS4. Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance Steelbook, $15.
Ooh, got the Steelbook. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, it's got a slipcover too. It's pretty cool. But I already had Shin Megami Tensei 5, but Vengeance is like the new version of it. So
yeah.
This one I'm pretty excited about. Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered, $10. This isn't even that old. So that's pretty cool. I got this game called Dustborn. It's in like a big box. I don't even know what it's about, but it was $10.
Oh, it's one of those games that flopped hard.
Did it? I didn't even know what it was.
Oh, I knew as soon as you said it.
Well, what's it come with? It comes with a steelbook.
I got a feeling that you're definitely you'll definitely love the game. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, once I saw the back of it, it looks like it's something I would not want to play. But
100%. Yeah.
Did I show this last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, I showed that one last week, so we'll skip that. Did I show this last week too? SVC Chaos?
That I don't know.
Okay, well, I got SVC Chaos, SNK versus Capcom. Really, really excited about this. This is also a limited run release. It came out on the Switch too. I went for the PS4 version because I've got the fight pad and stuff for it, so that it's just easier for me to play. I do like to get them on the Switch as well, but what I think I'm probably going to do is pick them up on the Switch too if they make like a good fight pad for it. Because like Street Fighter 6 is already coming on there with years 1 and 2, so unfortunately I'm not picking it up on there though because it's a game key card, so it's one of those. So I opted for picking it up on PS5.
Yeah,
Dead Rising is great. Where was it? $10 at Steal. It was on Walmart. Walmart was $10. Dustborn isn't bad. It's a story-based sci-fi adventure. Stream Dustborn. Okay, this must not be that bad, Mark.
It was a whole bunch of
Okay, this one's
culture
bad.
war around that
This
game.
this one's really bad, but I paid $5 for it at Walmart physically, like in the store.
Yeah.
So I was like, $5. All right, skull and bones.
I mean, it's a $5 game at that point. It's probably worth the money.
Yeah, I mean, like for that, I was like, yeah, I didn't think I would grab it. Mega Man 11 for the PS4. Surprisingly, for some reason, didn't have Mega Man 11. I was looking, I was like, I beat the game. How did I not have it? So I don't know if I lost the Switch copy or what, but
who knows?
I got this. I was really excited about this one. This one was 20, but this is really cool because it's got a lot of games that we love on it. And that's the Star Wars Heritage Pack. It's got 7 classic Star Wars games on it. Star Wars Racer, Republic Commando, Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Jedi Knight 1, Jedi Knight 2, and Force Unleashed all on there. Unfortunately, the one bad thing about this is that the Knights of the Old Republic games are downloads. So you get 5 games on the cart, but I mean, I still think it's worth it.
A little bit of a win, a little bit of a fail, you know.
Yeah. One really, really good one. I know this is like a lot of people's RPG of the year last year. Sea of Stars.
Oh yeah.
So this is an IM 8-bit release. I'm really excited to play that. Really excited about that one. I got Persona 5 Tactica. This was also $5 Walmart pickup.
Got a lot of $5 games.
Yeah, no, yeah, $5, $10, most of them. There's a couple that weren't though. House of Ashes, this one was $10 on Amazon. This is part of the Dark Picture series. It's like an anthology series.
I don't know anything about that game, so
I think there's 3 of them right now. He said no, Mark, let him play it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just laughing when I saw it.
Got a lot of those $5, $10 Walmart deals. Yeah, this one wasn't 10. This one was on sale for 30, but this is one I wanted to get at a launch, and I just said I was going to wait for it to get cheaper, and that is Visions of Mana. Super, super excited to play this. This one was actually 20, which was a really good deal because it's a pretty recent release, and again, one I really, really wanted to play. I've already played, but it's a remaster of it, and that's Tales of Grace's F remastered. So I was super happy about that. I got to move these down.
Got a stack of games right there. Definitely starting to get in the way.
Yeah, I was gonna knock them over. I got this one for 10. It's called Potion Permanent Complete Edition. I don't know anything about this one.
No,
it's like a 2D. It looks like a 2D Zelda-esque game, but I don't know. That's just from the back of it, and I just took a gamble on it. So, King of Fighters 13 global match for the Switch, also limited run release. So another fighting game. I love the King of Fighters series. This one's cool, Mark. You like this? Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. Finally got this. I wanted this forever. It never went down in price. It went down.
I've seen the game plenty of times at a GameStop.
I always see it, but it never goes down in price. It finally went down to 20. I'm like, I'm grabbing it. I've wanted it since launch.
Just didn't want to pay the 60 for it.
But now there's a second game. So yeah, I didn't want to pay the second game though. This one's really cool. You would love this series. So I played these on the PSP back in the day. That is called Class of Heroes 1 and 2, and this is the complete edition on PS5. But these were PSP games, very anime.
We talked about it before. I think I saw it on Amazon like a year or so ago.
Yeah, so it went on sale. I was like, I'm definitely picking that up. I played the first one on PSP. I never played the second one. I loved it. I thought it was great.
And you know what?
Something up your alley.
100%, you would really love. What's it? Class of 09.
What's that?
You should definitely play it.
Okay, last thing. I got what they call the PSP phone. So I'm working on modding it right now. I've got
nice.
1 game so far. So I just haven't had time yet because I'm doing the I don't know if I showed this last week. I got this a while ago, so I don't know if I ever showed it. But I just finally got the SD card set up, but it's a Saru cart. I might have showed it for the Sega Saturn, but I'm working on setting that up right now. Like I've got stuff in the background, stuff downloading, things like that. So, but yeah, that's everything for me, Mark. What do you got?
There's only like one new game pickup that I happened to see today. It was like $30. It's called Muramasa, the Demon Blade for the Wii.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
anything
yeah.
about it, but I saw it there. I was like, it looked
Miramasa.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good game.
it had
Really good
everything:
game.
disc, the booklet. It's the only reason I still have a Wii. I have a Wii U was for like a handful of Wii games. So I was like,
Yeah,
you got
that's a
anything?
good game.
Obviously, the I can't remember if you actually showed it off. The actual Tenchi Muyo thing that you picked up came in the mail this
Yeah,
week.
I don't think I showed it
Yeah.
off. Yeah, the thing
But
is
nothing. I think the only special
badass.
for that was the extra features. It's probably like
This is
the main
all
thing.
the Pioneer releases are always so cool though. They're
Oh
always
yeah.
cool. I love them. That's super cool.
Slide that back on, and then as well, this finally came in because I don't know how much they're still going to have. It was the Analog Pocket came in.
Yes, I'm so happy you got that. I'm
That
glad that
I had.
came
I
in.
actually, so this might suck a little bit for the audio listeners, but I had some quick little film that I took of it.
Okay.
You can actually see. So like if you're seeing it on the left, it's the power button. You got the volume, obviously all the regular buttons and stuff like that. At the bottom, obviously, it's got the USB-C plug-in audio jack, and then the SD card is on the side. That was the
Sick.
one game that I had in.
So do you got OpenFPGA set up at all yet?
No, I haven't done any of that stuff.
Okay, so
It
I'll
also
send
needs to be
you
set up.
I'll send you the app that all you do is plug in the SD card into your computer and it does it for you. I can tell you what it is right now, actually. It is
Is he looking
called
up real quick?
No, I don't have to look it up. It's on my desktop. It's called Pocket Updater. And I'll try to send you the GitHub link later. There's also Pocket Sync too. Yeah, there's two of. I have both of them on my laptop, but yeah, you literally just plug the SD card in and it does it all for you. It's automatic. So,
Oh,
I got loud. Yeah, but look at that screen, man. Isn't that beautiful?
It's like a Game Boy, but like with a much larger screen. Yeah, there was some extra games on that.
Way prettier screen.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it does. Wait till you see some of the other games that the GBA games. Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. And then you get like Neo Geo games on there. You get freaking TurboGrafx games on there, and you see them. It's like, wow, this is amazing. And you got the dock as well, which you didn't mention.
Yeah, so I got the dock, and then I was able to, as it swaps over. So this is the actual footage I recorded on the dock.
Sick.
Yeah, this one was the actual Gundam Seed game because you can kind of see how it kind of gives you the description and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it played really well. I tested this. It was the last one I still on the back end of it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just turning the volume down there.
Oh no, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for our
because this was
definitely come over to the video so you can check this out because this is pretty.
Yeah, because this one was more. This is it's open. It's playing because this is the Japanese Gundam Seed game that I had. I was like, let me throw it in just see if it works because the Game Boy Color one was an American. So I was like, don't know anything that's going on. Obviously, it's a Gundam Seed game. It's heavy on the text. I don't read Japanese.
But
so
look at that. It looks good for
being blown up and stuff like that. Oh yeah,
good. Yeah. Like the dock is great. It makes it really
just like the little tutorial and stuff like that. And it plays fine because I was actually using my.
Why does this look funner than modern Gundam games? Seriously, I played two recent Gundam games. I was like really disappointed in the combat in both. Played the SD Gundam game and what's the one I told you the girl's name?
I can't. I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the
I played both of them. I was like, man, this combat is terrible.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually straight using the Bluetooth, but I plugged in through USB my PS4 controller. So this was all being controlled with the PS4 controller. It's cool. not the same, but it operates the same for the most part with all the button faces on the actual thing. So I was like, this looks really good for both. I tested it on my because I captured it, so it's on my computer screen, not my actual
I usually I bought an 8-bit Do controller specifically for the dock, just because the buttons are more in line with like kind of like a SNES controller, Game Boy controller sort of thing layout. So it just felt better to me. But yeah, you can use any controller, which is cool. Any Bluetooth controller.
I know their site said there were specific ones that they for sure support, but I'm pretty sure anything that either you plug in or that's got Bluetooth should connect to it.
Xbox controller works. Yeah, really cool, man.
Yeah,
really, really cool.
There you go. Had to back out, but yeah, that's like the only big thing. And then because I also I don't have it on me, but I got the screen that I need to put on. Obviously, I still haven't taken off the thing it came with, but I got the glass screen protector and the actual travel case that it came with it.
Sweet.
Because I think between those three things and the dock was like $450.
Did you? I'm curious. Did you get the link cable because that links to original Game Boy?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't really.
If you were doing any trading.
I only really have the one. I didn't really play on it because I'm like, well, with the SD for some games, I could just properly emulate it.
Yeah.
To get around that issue, so I wasn't like super concerned about it.
For sure.
I technically have my Game Boy Color, but I don't really use it because it's missing the back, and I never had the link cable for that either. So,
okay, I'll show you mine real quick. I just with the Open FPGA, so I don't know if I showed before on here.
Yeah,
what it'll look like, but and I also got a Turbo EverDrive in it, so
because obviously you get the SD card and stuff like that. You can just straight emulate the games on there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Open FPGA is awesome because you get like tons of. I got 107 arcade games, 12 different arcade multi games, 7 computers.
But it's nice to at least having be able to find physical games and still play them, even if you emulate them. It's still nice having the physical game.
19 consoles. 17 handheld, so it emulates a ton of stuff. And then I've got the Turbo EverDrive.
Yeah, but it's nice being able to emulate or play with the physical because you can kind of go both ways as well.
Yeah, the way I see it is with anything I have an EverDrive for, I use the EverDrive. I don't use Open FPGA for because I just prefer the actual EverDrive. It saves on the EverDrive. You can do more stuff with the EverDrive in that. So that's one of those things where it just works out better than Open FPGA does. You can still do saves and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the EverDrive that just enhances the pocket, if you will. So
yeah. Plus, it's hey, there's an incentive to buy more or to play more of the maybe GBA games and stuff like that, and or pick up more more Japanese games if I ever get the chance.
I'll
I have an actual way to play them now.
Yeah, I'll send you actually right now what you should grab because it's not that much. It's a pretty freaking good deal, but I'll send it to you. I'll
but I know because I know there was people talking, no idea how much it was, so I was like, I guess I'll pick it up now.
If it shows up there, I just put it in the chat there. So
yeah, I saw it pop in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started with our notes. What do we got first, Mark?
I mean, a lot to talk about, so I don't want to lean on everything too long, but there's traction of the potential. People were talking about it getting a update all button for Steam. So anybody that's on PC and uses Steam, you realize your Steam games don't update. They update automatically a week afterwards, but you have to do them one at a time. You can't just hit it. There's one way: you hit the one and it downloads the one. Or you download start downloading, then you go to the next one, then you go to the next one. That way it'll auto download them all at the same time. To be fair, this seems like a feature of life that'd be pretty easy, I would assume, to implement. Because it's not if you keep your stuff up to date, it's not the biggest issue, but if you have 50 games on your PC and they're all new games, you obviously run into the issue of having to update stuff constantly. But to be fair, I think
really frustrating.
The auto update feature should be easy. If there's an update, it should just immediately start downloading and not push it off a few days to start downloading. I don't know why it does that.
I'll tell you my experience. The auto update just doesn't update the games.
It doesn't. Not like it should.
Yeah, and one weird thing this article says is COVID-19 changed Steam's update process to spread out downloads. I don't understand that.
To be fair, because I've been using it years before 2020, it hasn't changed to me. I still have to go in and manually update everything. So nothing changed that I saw.
Okay.
Pre or post COVID, at least in my opinion.
Well, if these games update, that would be fantastic because it's frustrating. The thing that always worries me is that we go into stream a game and then there's an update or something. It's you
have to be constantly checking. I mean, obviously, if you launch it every day and just check the updates and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's not an issue because most of these updates either you have a LAN connection and your internet's not that bad, and it's most games that are updating are less than a gig, so it takes a few minutes. But if you have a massive update, obviously you'd like it to start updating automatically or to update everything, before you go to bed and stuff like that. But let's be fair, an update all button is an issue if you have a lot of games you're trying to update at once, or you don't update it that often. You say you don't connect to the internet every day. For me, I've never seen more than 2 to 3 games at once need updated, and usually one might have a big update, 2 are kind of small, so it's not the biggest issue, but it would be a nice quality of life to implement. And I'm sure you'll use it more. The more you game on Steam or on PC, you realize, if you have a lot of stuff downloaded all at once, updating them can be a headache, especially if they're new games. If they're like old games, it's like Borderlands 2, Borderlands 1, not really going to see an update hardly ever. So for those games, it's not an issue. But if you playing, I don't think Fortnite's on Steam, but if you're playing like a Fortnite or like a GTA Online and stuff like that, I don't even know if those games are on Steam. They're going to update probably like weekly or monthly. So, and if you've got like 10 new games that came out in the last year, they're going to get updates pretty recently. So it could be an issue, but I mean, just something small that I thought was like worth talking about, because it would be nice to see on the PC side.
Yeah, it would be for sure. I agree.
Especially as PC gaming gets more popular. But on top of that, if I'm not sure, you either have or haven't gotten an email at this point, but if you're not tracking, obviously the Switch 2 pre-orders from Nintendo.com went out this week on the 8th. They say they're sending that between the 8th and the 12th, but I'm pretty sure most people probably got them on the 8th. Then you've got that 72-hour window. So I'm assuming as May goes on, more and more people start getting emails, because I assume a lot of people that kind of like we did signed up for this also pre-ordered it. If they got the pre-order beforehand, they won't need this. So I'm sure a lot of people either gonna just get another one for whatever reason. This is like their first opportunity to get one, or they're just not going to need it and the invite's going to expire and they're going to resend out more emails in the coming weeks and stuff like that, days and weeks.
Yeah, I didn't get one yet, so I'll just say I'm running a game tournament for an event that is happening where I live. So we need one for a tournament. We're doing like legit tournaments, like trophies, giving away a Switch 2. So we're going to give away a Switch 2, and then we need one for tournaments. So I'm trying to get after 2 now, which I helped get you one, but then you end up getting one too. And then I got Lucas one, and then I got my friend Matt one, was able to get him one. So like I got people one, and then later found out, I was like, oh, now I need to get 2 more, and I'm trying, but I can't get them.
I keep seeing periodically like, tweets and articles going like, oh, pre-orders back on this site.
I haven't seen
they probably go away. They're probably up. People see it. They run to it, and then the pre-orders go down. So
I'm really hoping we've got a little over a month to try to get 2 of them. So yeah, it's like a big event. Like they're spending big money. Like I got big music artists coming out. Everything from hip hop, pop, death metal, just regular rock, and they're all it's a Christian event, so it's something that was used to happen in Circleville back in the day. Circleville, Ohio. It was called MY Fest, and like there were big bands that came through, like 1,000 Foot Crutch, Reliant K, Switchfoot, like there was all kinds of you know what I mean. Newsboys came through, all those curious,
getting real old.
Getting real old, but yeah, thank you, Nika, for bringing that up. I just updated it just now, so it's ready for tomorrow. But yeah, there is a big Schedule 1 update, so I'm excited about that, seeing what the update's about and stuff. But yeah, I did get that update, so thank you for bringing that up. It only took like 2 seconds, so it's a small game.
It wasn't a big game, so the update's probably not going to be that big. But
yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, after Yuji Horii made some comments in Naples a few weeks ago about the Chrono Trigger remake. Now he came out and the creator said he's beginning to contemplate a remake. What? So I don't know if this is like trying to retroactively change what he said accidentally, or he was a mistranslation and actually actively starting to think about remaking this. But essentially he came out and he said he was beginning to contemplate this. Because obviously this is 30th anniversary.
We don't want to.
So I have no idea what's going on, but regardless, if this is hopefully I guess worst case scenario, the idea of a remake is getting traction. Best case, they're already working on it, and he just wasn't supposed to say what he said. Then
it seems like to me, it's like one of those things where it's like a no-brainer. I mean, that game would sell.
Think so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they did a remaster for it or they did a remake. Either one would sell. I mean, you saw the Lunar Remastered collection. Those are just remastered games. The games still look like the original games. They just look a little bit better. And they run faster, so the battle system's a little faster. The game's sold out like hotcakes, and they're being scalped. Like if Lunar, which is like a cult classic series, like for people, it's a cult classic, it really is.
Yeah,
they're great RPGs, but they're much smaller scale than a Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is oftentimes said by most people, and I think I agree, is the number one best RPG of all time. I absolutely love it. I think I do agree with that. It's hard. I play so many RPGs, but it's there.
I mean, you could argue this was the prime of some of like the biggest creators in the industry.
Yeah,
from the artist to the actual creators, because you had Dragon Quest and stuff there, Dragon Ball creators. Sorry, I'm just blanking on the names. But I mean, like they're like in their prime, a lot of big names that had put a lot of work into this game. So it just makes sense why this is. You could argue this came out when JRPGs were at their peak. Yeah, at least the 2D version of them came out.
The SNES era for RPGs. I mean, you think of like Legend of Mana, you think of Final Fantasy, you think of Phantasy Star. Like, I mean, the SNES era,
and like a lot of those Dragon Quest games that came out then too.
Yeah, I mean, the SNES era for RPGs is just crazy. It's just there's so many good games, and then same goes for Game Boy. When we bring up like Pokemon, there were a ton of Final Fantasy was on Game Boy. Dragon Quest was on Game Boy. Like just that era of both the handheld and the console was amazing. That's why these games are getting remasters and brought to the Switch, which is great. They need to be more accessible. I'm happy the Lunar collection came out, but it's like they came out and said, "Oh, we didn't expect that we didn't expect to sell this many." They publicly said that. I'm like, why would you think this game wouldn't sell? Like, this is a classic series. Like, it's going to sell. And they said they're sold out and they're waiting to print more copies. They said they're going to have more copies.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very crazy. But
I just wanted to fix what I said earlier, because it was Hironobu Sakaguchi, which was the Final Fantasy creator, Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball and stuff like that, as well as they had the soundtrack by Yasunori Mitsuda and stuff like that, and a lot of other big names. Because like on top of just like the story, the graphics, or just the character designs, like it's got an amazing soundtrack. If you ever listened to the old, essentially 8-bit soundtrack,
yeah, it has an amazing soundtrack. I have it on vinyl.
Yeah,
so it's a really good one for sure.
Like, there's just a lot of big names that had worked on this game, and it's crazy that they made this one game and then they went their separate ways, and they just kind of.
Well, they made
this game alone.
Chrono Cross, which is a good game, but not as good as Chrono Trigger.
No, technically the same, but it's not kind of. They're kind of like.
I like it a lot. It came out on Switch. A remastered it. I like it a lot, but it is not as good as Chrono Trigger. And also, I will say they did remake it on the DS. Also very good, but still not as good as the SNES version, in my opinion.
It was just like it felt more like a port than anything else. To be fair, they just ported it to the DS.
But they changed stuff in the game that they shouldn't have changed. That was the problem I had with it. They changed some text and some things that happened because it was considered a remake, not a port. Like that's how they advertised it, as a remake.
Yeah, but like let's be fair, it was more of a port with some changes to where they could call it like a. Like a remaster or something like that, remake, whatever you want to call it.
You heard Nintendo reserves to brick consoles to stop piracy.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay,
a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I haven't heard about that. Okay.
There's a lot of Nintendo stuff to talk about this week. That was some more bigger than others, but we're tracking that.
Neek said he's seen a few of those bands that I mentioned. Yeah, those are. Definitely some old school bands for sure. I saw Reliant K in concert twice back in the day. I really like the pop punk style stuff, and they had a few songs that I liked and stuff. So I know you like Newsboys. I remember that. That was you
back in the day. They were really big. Like
I didn't like them. I was not a fan of the music at all. I didn't.
I haven't listened to them in probably like 15 years, 15, 20 years at this point.
I was hoping we could get like we were trying. We've got some pretty big artists coming, like really big artists, but I wanted to get Demon Hunter, which is a Christian death metal band that I actually like. I'm not really into the Christian music or anything, but I think it's a really good band. And they've been around for a long time, still putting out albums. But unfortunately, the cost for them was like really, really high, so couldn't get them out. But I mean, they're spending big money for this event, so it's going to be huge. So I'm really hoping I can get these Switches, get those going, and then I still got to get a PS5 too, which I think we're going to try to get it like rent to own for just a day, and then possibly an Xbox as well, because we're doing the games we're doing are Mario Kart. Where the hope is the new Mario Kart World, the new version of the Mario Party that's got the additional stuff for Switch 2, Smash Brothers for Switch, Smash Bros Ultimate, Street Fighter 6, and then Madden. So the newest Madden. You like Creed? I joke around with Mark about Creed.
Can you take me higher
to a place where blind men see?
Got him.
I don't actually like them. I joke,
but he knows a lot of the songs.
I know all the songs. Yeah, not really a fan. But I was going to go see him in concert with some other bands that I wanted to see. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, but they've got a real revival going on. I blame it on TikTok because it's just like crazy. Like they got a huge revival. You see the reels that from TikTok, like on Facebook and stuff. They're so funny. It'd be like some guy like drinking a beer in the garage, like listening to Creed by himself.
I think I watched the video. I don't know if it was that. I think it's the one where he's singing about his kid's birth. But it was like a 5-year-old just sitting there, just like laying back, just like looking like he's contemplating life. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen that one though. There's so many though. There's so many. It's funny. It's like a meme now. But they're bigger than they've ever been, which is crazy because in the 2000s they were big.
It was big but hated on. They were one of those bands.
Yeah, it was one of those like Nickelback.
I was about to say they're like the Nickelback of the early 2000s.
Which Nickelback still gets the hate. They still do. I still see it all the time. But I'm also not a fan of that band either. Although I like their first album, which doesn't sound like any of their other stuff. It sounds like a post grunge album because that's what it was supposed to be. And then they went just like full radio rock. So. Just not a fan, but with arms wide open, yeah, yeah.
But I just heard the news today.
I know Mark's been listening to a lot of that stuff and grunge and stuff, which is cool. I do.
This is what I listen to.
I do like that. I like some of the stuff you've been listening to.
Just remember, Eurobeat never gets old. It's peak.
Okay, I don't know about that. I stick with my grunge almost daily, pretty much. Alice in Chains and Nirvana like every single day. I got a Nirvana shirt on, got a Nirvana tattoo. Can't hardly see it, but that's my stuff.
I'm just repping a dark blue shirt with nothing on it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of lame. Not gonna lie. Why the hate towards Nickelback? I say the best band ever. I don't do the hate towards Nickelback. I don't quite understand.
It's only like.
I don't understand the hate towards them. Like I think it's ridiculous because like
they were the popular thing, so it's always the in thing to hate the most.
I mean it's got to suck for them, but the thing is they still fill up arenas, so it's like they get the hate, but they fill up arenas.
Their Rockstar song I really liked back in the day. It's one of the few songs actually of theirs that I liked. And then
but let's be fair, about drugs and stuff. I'm like,
obviously,
like that song is so cringe to me now. Like I liked it as a kid.
I was like into it back in the day.
I was really into it as a kid when it came out. I was like into it, but they also did that. I don't know if you remember, but they did the hero song for Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah,
you remember that? I liked that a lot. I did like that, and I still do like that song. I thought that was good.
I keep forgetting they sung that song.
Yeah, I like that.
But obviously. And their song "Photograph" is never going to go away because it's just a meme at this point.
Yeah.
Look at this photograph. And you can, whatever you want.
Every time I see him, makes me laugh. Yeah, it's always showing something on it. Oh my gosh, yeah. Game Freak said, I like them back in the day, but the photograph memes are great. Yeah. Salvatore Ganucci started listening, and some of the songs would work in Streets of Rage 2. You talking about Salvatore? I'm currently playing King. It's the only thing I played was Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. That's all I played. I haven't played anything else. I'm going through and going to beat it with every character so I can get 100% on the story. But that's all I played. That's it. I haven't played nothing else. So just our stream. I played Schedule 1 last week. Other than that, like if I get like even just 30 minutes at night before bed or something, I'd pop on and do a couple matches.
You know, if you've got to listen to a playing Schedule 1, Snoop Dogg, obviously.
I mean, that would be a good fit.
It's a perfect 1-for-1 fit, obviously.
It would be a great fit.
Or just the Breaking Bad soundtrack, one or the other.
That works too. Yeah. So we,
know what? Funny enough, I sorry to derail it.
No, you're good.
I think Schedule 1 and like the short form content is making like a Breaking Bad become popular again, or it's like bringing it back.
Is
like,
it
cultural zeitgeist?
Such a good series. It's one of the
is
one of my favorite series ever.
Especially we look back, because I think of is it Cranston? Bryan Cranston is the actor's name, or I think
Bryan
the actor,
Cranston.
The character. Like when he did that role, he'd only done like comedy roles, so like
because he was in Malcolm in the Middle. He's the dad.
Which is a great show. I love it.
Yeah, but it's so different. Like the roles are so different. He was so serious. He's
got such good range.
Him and Jesse, the range, like the connection with them was so good. Like it felt genuine. Like everything about the series, his wife, like really great actor or actress. It looked awesome. Everything about it, I thought it was all set up really good. Even the kid, like when the kid came in and would like be upset with the dad or something during that part of the series and stuff. And it's like,
you know what, this might be controversial if you take out some of the later seasons, but I think it's better than Game of Thrones. Even the early seasons, I think.
I agree. I agree with that. I mean,
before Game of Thrones became the dog pile it did in the later seasons, but
yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones ended really bad. Hey, what's up, Dave? How's it going? But yeah, we'll be playing Schedule 1 tomorrow. And my soon-to-be brother-in-law is going to be jumping in with us, and potentially a friend. I don't know, but Dave, if his friend doesn't come in, you should come in and play with us again. That'd be cool. Yeah, we got 4 people, so totally going to be awesome. But what do we got next here? We got
so obviously people were talking about it. Nintendo came out and said no, there's no generative AI in Mario Kart World, essentially. Because I know people have been talking about it on top of the $80 price tag, which you can get $30 off if you get the bundled for 5 Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart World.
My question is it using DLSS at all? Because I don't think it actually is. It doesn't look like
DLSS isn't generative AI.
No, I know it's not. I'm not just
100%. This game uses the DLSS in the system.
You think so?
I would be surprised if it doesn't.
Okay, it just doesn't to me look like, because I feel like it would look better if it was
with this game being a launch title. Why would they not try to do everything they could to make it? And if you switch to exclusive title, you'd want it to try to do everything you can. Whether it uses it well or not, or there's been an update out for the demos, no idea. Because I would be surprised if it just doesn't use it at all.
I'm not saying it looks bad at all. I think it looks really good. But it just feel like it could look better. Yeah, it definitely could look better for sure. So that's why I was asking, is it using the DLSS? Because it doesn't look like it to me. But like you said, you would think that Nintendo would take full advantage of the system for
let's be fair.
It's going to be their biggest game again. You know it is.
Because the Mario Kart,
even the $80 price tag is not going to defer it from being the big, just like last generation, and even for the Wii U. Like Mario Kart is for sure going to be the biggest game. Plus, it's the first pack-in title, and most people are getting that bundle.
Well, it's a pack-in title if you spent the extra amount of bundles. So but it's a quasi pack-in title in that case that you have to pay more for it.
But most people I know, actually everybody I know, has gone for that. I don't know anybody that's gotten the standard bundle.
It's obvious that Nintendo made more copies of this just because it makes sense, and they obviously want people playing this game. Like this is their only first party launch title. So this is the game that they want to be popular. But I get it. Like And obviously this is a quasi upgrade from the Switch, but you want them to use it, but obviously as the Switch 2 life cycle goes on, the developers are going to get more comfortable with the hardware and be able to get more out of the hardware. So obviously later title games tend to play better than early title, but with it being Nintendo, like, you'd want this game to look and perform like the best that you could ever possibly make
For
it.
sure. Yeah. I got
and like, let's be fair, 8 Deluxe was like 8/Deluxe. It's like a Wii U game. Like, they've had like 8 years realistically to work on this game. Now they used 8 years, but they've had time to work on this game.
I will say what they did with it, with the expansion pass and all the stuff they brought to it was really cool, though. I mean,
it kept the game relevant. They were constantly feeding content, which I expected
all the way till the end. I mean, like, it wasn't even that long ago that we got the last stuff for it. So, but Neek said you can definitely see Breaking Bad and South Park references in Schedule 1. Mr. Coffee said, I say, Brandon, do a Dustboard stream one night just for your reaction. Don't look up videos, just play it. Dave, you're skipping Switch 2. That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. Neek said, gonna wait for the Switch 3.
I'm gonna wait for the Switch U personally, but
the Schedule 1 is hilarious. Yeah, Schedule 1 is so fun, man. It's just like ridiculously fun. My boss at work, super Christian guy. This obviously a game that is like about, it's about drugs. So that's what it is. You are a drug dealer. He loves it. So I think it's super funny. Like, he absolutely loves it. So it's really cool. It's very fun, and I just love supporting these indie titles that literally one developer for this game. It's crazy that it's so good, but this is what we need. We need more of this stuff. We need more. Another one I want to check out, Mark. There's another one that is also an indie game that's like being played a lot on Steam. I think it's called, I'd have to look, can't remember. But it's I think it's called Repo.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
A lot of people are playing that. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen any gameplay, but
I've seen people play it. I don't know what you're actually doing, but it looked like a quasi horror game. But I don't really know about it.
$10. I mean, like, maybe we should check it out. It's multiplayer. It's $10. That's just
we absolutely should.
23 of my friends own this game. So yeah, we should definitely check it out for sure.
I mean, where the AAA scene just gives you crap, the indie scene's definitely coming alive.
I love it, man. Bring more of those indie games here. I'm here for it. DDS Dave, look, I'm disappointed in you not getting a Switch 2, man. I'm just truly disappointed. Neek said Repo, REPO. Yeah, I just said it that way.
Well, I mean, I guess talking about games specifically, good quasi in. We got some more graphics that Nintendo is promoting for their games for the Switch 2 launch. So obviously, you're going to have Tour, which should be a free pack-in game at launch. Nobody's buying that game coming out on the 5th. And obviously Mario Kart World. So either you're going to get it at launch or you got the pack-in title, so you have it with the Switch 2. But obviously they came out because you have the Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out.
I got that pre-ordered.
Like 5 weeks later, July 17th.
Yeah.
As well as you've got the Drag Drive. I don't know, it seems like a poor man's Rocket League, but
yeah, it looks interesting. But what it makes me think of is the what's that boxing game on Arms? It kind of reminds me of like the weird concept of Arms, like they're doing another weird. I don't know. I kind of game.
Based off what I've seen, you kind of feel like it's probably gonna have the same level of success that game does.
Yeah,
it'll be talked about at launch, and then it's just kind of probably peter out.
Arms was really good, but they didn't expand upon it. They didn't do enough with it, so I think
they didn't give enough content into it.
If they bring like Arms again on the Switch 2, I mean, potentially could be like a series that they do. But yeah, I'm actually surprised that we haven't heard anything
breath on that. But
I'm not either. But
yeah, and then obviously you've got Kirby Air Riders coming sometime later this year. We've yet to get a release date. I assume sometime in the fall, the holiday season.
Yeah, that'll be a must grab for me.
Yeah, then they obviously highlighted more of the Switch 2 editions. Yes. So obviously the Zelda games will be there at launch. Later in the month, you've got the Mario Party Jamboree plus the Jamboree TV, which would be the big one.
Yeah, we'll have to stream that for sure.
Yeah, August 20th, you've got the Kirby Forgotten Land plus the Star Cross World that comes out for the Switch 2 edition. And then what we kind of already knew, the Pokemon Legends ZA and the Metroid Prime will get their own Switch editions. They said late 2025 for ZA and then just 2025 for Metroid. So
yeah,
based off what they're saying, that means Metroid will come out before Pokemon, and Pokemon's probably going to be a holiday launch time, a holiday release.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you brought up, I still haven't seen anything about it, but you said Scarlet Violet's going to have improvements on the Switch too, right?
That's what I heard, but I don't know if we got a hard date or what exactly we're getting from that. And because we know there's a lot more games that are getting upgrades than these. This is just what Nintendo pushed out that they were advertising. So this is probably not everything. This is just their big stuff.
What I will say, every single one of these I'll be getting because it's all series and games that I love, and thankfully I actually don't have. I beat Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but I don't have it, and I need to own it because my only Switch collection goal was all first party games, which is very doable. I mean, that's not hard to do. I've got most of them now. There's only a few missing, like some of the Mario Sports titles. I'm missing ARMS. I'm missing the 1-2 Switch. You know, I don't want to buy it, so it's like I'm holding off on it. But that's my only, and that'll probably be my only collecting goal for the Switch 2 as well, is just get all the first party games, which is like super easy to do. I like having like, you know, easier collecting goals. Like I'm doing the Call of Duty set. Got another one in today. I didn't show it. I forgot. I already put it on the shelf. But if you can't see behind me, right here, I bought a whole new shelf because of all the games I just showed off and continue to get. So I had to get a whole new shelf today. $55 for it. It took me, oh my God, this is embarrassing. It took me like 2 hours to put together. It said it should take an hour. So
did you get it from Walmart or IKEA?
I got it from Walmart. I wish I would.
That should take you like 20 minutes to put together then.
It literally says on it 1 hour. Oh no, there's no way you can do that in 20 minutes. I had to use a drill, I had to use a hammer,
the different screwdriver. More than like the cheap one, like $20 ones you buy.
Yeah, I didn't buy the cheap 20. It's a big one. It's a 5 shelf one, so it's the biggest shelf.
Because the two that are behind me,
it's a bookcase.
This black one I got from Walmart. That was a cheap one, and then the one over me that's an actual proper bookcase right here, I got from IKEA. Significantly more money, took me significantly more time to put together, but it's obviously better quality.
Everything from IKEA is better though. Like the Billy bookcases they have are like absolutely perfect for video games, anime, manga, movies.
They're just expensive, so it's hard to spend the money.
That was the only reason. It was like I needed it now because I've got these stacks of games and cards and stuff just sitting here, so I had to get something now to put up. So since I showed them off, I'm going to put them all away. I've got them all logged in my Game Eye already. As soon as they came in, I just took a screenshot of the UPC and put them in there. But that's a great way to log your games. Know what you have. Like if you're gone and can't remember if you have a game or not, like you can pull it up on your Game Eye.
Yeah, I don't know if you use Game Eye. What I started using to log. Oh yeah, it is Game Eye because I just I started getting it because I was trying to log what I had so I could see. Obviously, I don't know it's good for a pricing. I don't remember what I spent on half these games, but just to be like, all right, what do I have and not have?
Yeah, I don't care about the price. The pricing is off because the best pricing you can get is recent eBay sales. That's the most current price that you can get.
You can track it's just nice to be able to like, all right, what do I have and what system do I have it on?
Yeah, and you can even track like if you don't have a manual for a game and you're gone, you're at a convention, you need a manual.
You can put it in here. Like, do you have a box? Is it complete in box? Is it just the game and stuff like that? And obviously, some of the newer games just don't have a package, so it's complete in box itself. But
the new ones I just marked that's got it. But so that's one of the good things about it. But especially if you're at a convention or a game store or something like that, and you cannot remember, like for instance, the Call of Duty set, that is really hard to keep track of what I have because I've got like the same game like 3-4 different times for some of them, and then some of them I don't, and I need the other ones. But like I got Vanguard today for the Xbox Series X. I already had it for PS5. So I think it was $10 from Best Buy. So I didn't show that one off. But which was a really good deal. I mean, $10. And I also didn't show off that I got which one was it for 15? Hold on, let me look real quick.
While he does that, some of the other stuff that we had that they published, obviously, for the third-party software as well. So obviously, you had the Cyberpunk, you had Survival Kid, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6, Bravely Default, Yakuza 0, Deltarune, and Tamagotchi Place, or not everything but Tamagotchi Place was all coming out, obviously, launch. They had the Tamagotchi, later in June, Story of Seasons in August, and then obviously the Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, the Duskbloods, and Hades 2 are all coming at a later date that they were kind of advertising.
I really want people to support the Cyberpunk release, the Story of Seasons release, and then I don't know why Rune Factory's not on there because it's coming out launch day. But the Rune Factory game, those are all complete on carts. So I want people to support those games because the game key card is one thing I'm not liking about the whole Switch 2 stuff. It's really frustrating.
Got some more stuff to talk about and some of the topics coming up. So
it's really frustrating. The whole
I agree completely.
Is I think ridiculous. But you know what the thing is like a lot of times, like unless you get like a limited run game or strictly limited or one of those companies where a lot of them put everything on the cart, just like my PS5 collection, like a lot of those you have to update immediately when you put it in. So it's like, yeah, that some of them the game is there, some of them half the game is there. So like it's a thing that's been going on. The game key card that happened during the Switch cycle. I don't remember if you remember the code in the box games. It would be a physical game, but it was just a code in the box with no card. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so like they've been doing stuff like that for a while. And there is a lot of games that you could, if you bought on Switch, like you would still have to update the game to even play. But yeah, I mean, these games that are fully on the cart, like I really want people to support them. Like Rune Factory, I'm getting. I don't know if I'm getting the Story of Seasons. I probably get it later because I'd rather get a cheaper price. But I am getting Cyberpunk just literally to support that and have another thing to play at launch because it is a launch title. I've already played it. I know it's a great game, and I know the performance is good on Switch too. So like it's using DLSS. They went all out on it. So if they put GTA 6 on Switch 2, I'll consider it. I think there's a very high probability.
I don't think it's coming to Switch 2.
You really don't think they want to hit that audience?
I don't think the Switch 2 could run it, not without significant downgrades.
Okay, we haven't seen any gameplay yet. All we've seen is cinematics.
But you know right? That it's gonna be taking everything that
are we showing Xbox the trailer for it? By the way,
yeah, we will later.
Okay. So
between because I mean at the high end, like the current consoles, like the PS5 and stuff like that, has better hardware. It's a larger system.
So let me ask
even if it's in some ways a little bit older, but like I don't necessarily see the Switch. Because the Switch is going to play Cyberpunk, but at a lower fidelity than you can on
but it's not bad either. Consoles. It's not like
no, but they had to go and do obviously extra work behind the scenes to make it work.
But it's like to me the thing to me is like why would Rockstar not want to hit a I mean the just the pre-order cycle for the Switch 2 is already breaking records that for other console releases because it's not even out yet.
I think they understand one of two things. One. A lot of you have one or two things of people being in the Switch 2. You're getting it parents that are getting it for kids, in which this is not the market for it, or a lot of other people there that are like adults that would play that game. They have other ways to play the game. They either have another console or a PC on top of the Switch to play it. So they don't, and why spend the extra time and development and money on lesser hardware when you could focus it for your primary target audience?
I get that.
Who's on different systems.
It's just one of the things. I'm not saying that it is coming. It's just one of those things. It's like, why would they not want to hit another massive audience? But is it only coming to PlayStation 5 or is it coming to Xbox as well?
From what we understand, they're doing what they did with the PS5. It's going to come to consoles at launch.
And PC later.
It's going to come to PC later. It's going to come to PC, but they're obviously.
I imagine it's probably going to be like a year.
Market.
It's probably going to be like a year later because I know the GTA 5 took a long time to come to PC, right?
I mean, let's be fair. Like they understand the PC is a really big market, especially with the GT Online.
In the mods,
for whatever reason, it's just huge. It's not going to be a launch. As of right now, it's not coming to PC.
Mr. Coffee brought up Rockstar and Nintendo are two very different companies. Rockstar has been on Nintendo consoles, like Manhunt was on Wii. They've had Chinatown Wars was on.
Yeah, they've had GTA games on Nintendo consoles before.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where like I can't say yes, no, whatever. I don't know, but I just feel like it would be hitting another massive audience if they did. But again, I probably would not buy GTA 5 on the Switch. I would probably get it on the PS5. I know it's PS5 Pro enhanced.
And you have to understand there's a lot of crossover in the markets of who's gaming on what system.
Yeah, I know it's PS5 Pro enhanced. So like I personally would be getting it for the PS5. But I just think,
and I think they understand most people would rather play it on something else that just can run it at a better fidelity, better frame rate.
I wish it was coming to PC at launch because I'd rather get it on that. But it's one of those games where it's like I definitely do want to play that right away, and I think that if the GTA Online is there at launch, like we could stream that. You know what I mean? That would be really people would love that. So, Mr. Coffee said because Nintendo is big enough and they are happy where they are, they don't mind watching Sony kill and Microsoft kill each other.
To be fair, Microsoft's doing a good job of just to take themselves out of the console race.
But then we're getting an Xbox handheld just announced this week. So it's like
they're gonna go the handheld way, and because then they're bringing the I don't know if I had it in the notes or not, but they're bringing Gears of War to PlayStation. So I'm like, okay, that just guarantees you don't care about the console market.
That's in our news,
increase the price of your consoles, and then you're bringing it to PlayStation. Like, why buy an Xbox console at that point?
Is that in our news, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we need to talk about that because when they tweeted that out, like we've seen stuff happen, right? Like Ori's been on the Switch, Minecraft is on everything. What else? There's been some other stuff. And we heard the rumors supposedly the Master Chief Collection has also come to PlayStation. This is a rumor.
So obviously I got the handheld in the notes, but I don't think I got that game specifically in the notes.
Okay, yeah. So I mean that's crazy. PlayStation tweeted that they're
remastered.
It's called Reloaded. I don't know if it's a remaster or I assume it's a
remaster. I'm pretty sure.
It kind of sucks because like we just played it. Would have been cool to kind of wait to check out the remaster because like I don't know.
I mean, it's gonna be more of the same game. I highly doubt they're gonna add more content. It's just gonna run on modern hardware and on a PlayStation.
It's cool they're doing that. Hopefully they do that for like 2 and stuff, and then we can go back and play that because we.
I mean, to be fair, they remastered 1 and they never touched 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I wish it made no sense to me why they didn't touch the other games, but
probably didn't make enough money for them to justify the cost.
It was a big series though. It was like for Xbox.
Yeah, and then they killed it after 3. They just decided, hey, you know what we did really well? Let's just not do that and make terrible games with.
Arguably, they did that with Halo too.
Oh, they didn't. Arguably, it's a fact. They took all their popular stuff from the 360 and decided, hey, you know this terrible marketing for Xbox One? Let's do that to the games and just make them terrible. And they did that.
Yeah, I mean...
So every major Xbox IP from the 360 era and the Xbox era just went downhill after that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
It's my hot take.
It's not even a hot take. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's just kind of the case. But... yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate, you know, but it is what it is. So,
yeah. And then just because we were talking about it, there was I don't know if you've heard about the Rockstar dev, Mike York came out and said, this is a quote. You've got Mario Kart for $90. It's $80, but it's like a semantic to the argument. It's like, you think Mario Kart competes with a game like this as far as how much stuff they've got to put in the game in reference to GTA 6 as saying it does, even if they were both like $70 games, one is going to just arguably have more content in the game. But I mean, it comes down to, I think they're different games, and I just think GTA 6 is going to obviously make significantly more money, and it's going to show in the end. But Mario Kart games have always been
where Mario Kart is so huge that it's like, I don't know how much it actually at the end of the day matters. And plus, a lot of people,
it makes a lot of money for them. So
it makes a lot of money. And I know that this bundle specifically is exclusive to this year, but I guarantee 100% there will be other like holiday bundles of Mario Kart and stuff like that. Like every year they do a new holiday bundle for the Switch. So like
I'll argue, because I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 comes out at $100. Yeah, it's probably going to be it's going to have more content, but you don't play you play Mario Kart for the racing. They've always been replayable games. You're playing the same tracks with different characters and different people. It's kind of like a party game is the way you look at it. But I mean, it's like
very replayable.
This isn't different. You look at the GTA 5 and Mario Kart 8. They're both, $60, $70 games back then, and one you could argue had significantly more content in it. But you could put just as many hours into both games, which it's it's the problem with this is, and I get what he's coming back, and I kind of agree. One's gonna be worth the higher price tag than the other. But it's hard to compare, say, a racing game to like a story based RPG or a first person shooter because they're not the same genre of games.
Yeah,
but they've always cost the same, and you get different amounts of enjoyment or different hours out of games. Because like even back in the 360 era, pretty much everything was a $60 price tag. But one game you may have gotten 10 hours, one you may have gotten 110 hours out of. Yeah. I think this is just a bigger discussion because you're starting to see a rapid, increase in prices of all these games.
I guess my
I get the argument.
I get the argument. I guess my take on this is that Mario Kart is very, very, very replayable. It sells a crap ton.
It's a very popular IP.
And Mario Kart 8, they put so much work, and it was a remaster. They put a ton of work in that game. They added so much content. Like, it was crazy.
Like, they kept feeding you content.
They kept feeding content till the end. Like that.
But it's just, I think this is one of those, at the end of the day, you as a consumer have to determine, what's the value that you put on a game.
Yeah, like, and they're totally different. So it's like, some of the audience is not even going to be the same. A lot of people that play GTA 6 are not going to be playing Mario Kart.
You can have a significant overlap, but like, let's be fair.
You can have an overlap, but there's not going to. I feel like there's also non-overlap at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? They're totally different games, like completely different.
Yeah. Like, I spent $70 on a game, gotten 10 hours of 10 hours or less of enjoyment. And I've spent, the same amount on a different game, and I've gotten hundreds of hours out of it. It just depends on the game and the genre.
And then you remember also Nintendo did the first $70 Switch game for Switch, which was Tears of the Kingdom. That was the first one they did. So, which arguably was worth it. I've got over 100 hours in the game. But Dave said, well, you boys have fun. Got to go. See you tomorrow. All right, Dave. See you later. Appreciate you watching. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that they're totally different games, but I get the argument. So
yeah. I didn't want to. I don't know. I feel like we've talked about it ad nauseum with game prices at this point. Didn't want to linger too long on it. Apparently, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle I can't remember if you had a chance to play the game or not.
Oh yeah, I love it.
December.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, they're getting a new update later this month. Essentially, it's mainly going to fix bugs, but it's also addressing a DualSense adaptive triggers for the PS5 and PC have now been fixed. And it is now Steam Deck verified with this new update as well.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So I know they're bug fixing, and it's coming to Steam Deck essentially. So,
well, that's good to hear. Yeah, it looks like it's probably mostly related to PS5, but it does say PC has been fixed. I'm not
so
sure
probably on. So the DualSense adaptive triggers were an issue on both the PS5 and the PC version of the game, is what they're saying. That have now.
Oh, for people that are using the PS5 controller on PC.
No, the on the PS5, it was bugged on the PS5 version. So this is essentially saying that there was an issue with the PlayStation controller wherever you played the game at with that controller.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Essentially, what they're saying with this.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know if everybody ran into the same issue, but it was a bug that was affecting people, and then now you can officially play it on Steam Deck, or it's verified. I don't know if you could play it beforehand. I don't have a Steam Deck, so
no, I don't think it was on Steam Deck before. So that's cool. That's that's one of those games that it was like the first game to do the what's it called? FrameGen.
Essentially it's the FrameGen's what it's using AI to create frames that technically aren't there to give you an artificially higher frame rate.
And I think that it is now using, like, if you have the correct graphics card, if you have a 50 series, I think it is now using DLSS 4. So it was using 3.5. Sure it was using 3.5 before, and it was great. The game is great. I absolutely love that game. I can't wait for a sequel. We know we're getting a sequel. It did very well. I think that was a great Microsoft release. Like, good on them for putting that out. But they're putting out on PS5 and stuff now. It's like one of those things where I'm just a little confused with Xbox, because I feel like they are sort of going the way of Sega. However, they're trying to hold out as long as they can with consoles, because we've got a handheld coming out. We also got the rumor for another console, which is kind of crazy to me, because they we didn't bring this up either. I don't know if it's in the notes, but this is huge. I've seen tons of discussion about it all over X. They raised the prices of everything Xbox related. Did we show that last week?
I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest.
I think we did. I think we showed the list. But for instance, Series X, $100 increase. But they're already not selling enough units. Like, they sell, but they don't sell like the PS5 or the Switch does. They just don't. Yeah. They're nowhere near the numbers for those systems. So like they're having a hard time selling the console, and then they raise it $100, and it's like you already weren't selling the console.
Sell the console.
Yeah, I mean, like that does not help. They're raising the prices of all the different controllers, the Elite controller, the regular controller, the headset. Like, it's just crazy to me. Games, it's crazy to me because they're already not selling units. So it's one of those things where, like, I like my Series X, but if I can play it on PC, I'm going to play it there. There are stuff that I play on the Series X that like come to Game Pass there. It doesn't come to PC Game Pass. And I think it's a great console. Before the PS5 Pro came out, it was the most powerful console ever, right? Like, it was more powerful than the PS5, which was cool. And you could see that in some games. But I think at the end of the day, the PS5 just had, I don't know what it was around it, but it was like when people were trying during like COVID era, like Series X had the issue too of not being available. But the PS5, I don't know what it is. The demand was just so much higher for the PS5 than the Xbox.
It's just the next big thing. Everyone was trying to get it, really.
They came out 3 days apart. So it's like the Xbox Series X, I went to the launch for it, and then I got a PS5. The PS5 came out, I think, 3 days later, and I ended up getting 3 days later after that. I got it from Best Buy. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not sure if it's just the PlayStation branding or what it is, but it could also be that the Xbox One, let's be real, it didn't do good. I thought it was a good console for what it was, but it
had a bad launch that they couldn't recover from.
That horrible launch. The Kinect stuff, like always being online.
Always online. The fact they were trying to market more of a entertainment box, not a game system, and they allowed Sony with the PS4 to come in and just dominate out the gate.
I mean, like, the Xbox One is a good console, and like the Game Pass like changed the game.
It was marketed terribly.
Yeah,
that was its problem. And then they just never pumped out, like, the PS4. Sony did such a good job with the PS4 era of pumping out first-party games, where, let's be fair, Microsoft just struggled to pump out games to justify buying it later down the road.
And then,
outside of the disastrous launch.
Then before the Series X, all the acquisitions.
We'll get there.
Acquisitions started happening, so they've got these huge companies like Bethesda
that they've been sitting on for several years because they have to make games now.
Well, it's because these games take 6-7 years to make now. That's the problem. Like, I mean,
and they're not making smaller games in between like they used to.
They should, like the Ori series, like they should continue with that. It sells. It's on the Switch. It's on PC. It's on Xbox.
You can have you spend less money. You can have a smaller studio, and it allows the studio to pump out other games. So if the big one fails, you're not sitting holding the bag of absolutely nothing.
Like, I don't understand. Like, why was there not another Ori in between? Like, what they're doing? Like, why are they not doing other stuff?
Because they've changed what they wanted to do, and they're just trying to hit these home run games that think that they can always hit.
But you gotta have other games coming up. That's the problem, right? Like, that's the big thing about Xbox Series X is like the drought of games.
I think that's a big thing in general. Like, you used to have, like, these studios used to pump out 3 games a year, and every few years they'd have their big game come out. They don't do that. They only make their big games. They're not making these smaller games. They just stop making them outright.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I love the Series X. I think it's a great console, but it's like if you end up getting a PC and use PC Game Pass and the game is available there, like, I'm for sure going to play it on PC.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
And
I guess I don't know how you feel about this, but essentially the indie market took over because these smaller games, you could argue, would essentially be made by indie sized teams for like the DS or the Game Boy, or just, a smaller downloadable, $10, $20 game.
Yeah,
but they stopped doing that, and, like, let's be fair, like a Schedule 1 or like a Repo, essentially, style of game is what you would get between these big game launches, and you would once in a blue moon get the indies. Now there's like indie games coming out like every few months that are just massive hits because these major studios just they don't want to make money with low budget games, apparently.
And I'm not mad about it at all. I think it's great that these indie games are getting attention. I think it's great.
They're filling a need that the market doesn't have right now, because especially on top of the quality of the AAA has dropped off, because they just dominated for so long, they got complacent.
What do we always say? Schedule 1 does not look good. It's about the gameplay. Is the game fun?
The graphics were never what's up. You could argue the same between GTA 6 will look better than Mario Kart, but if Mario Kart's a fun game to play, that's all that matters.
Then it doesn't matter. That's my take on it. Like, the game doesn't look good, but the game is really, really fun. That's all I care about. I don't care about,
like, I think the character faces in the Oblivion Remaster look terrible, and I hate it. But it's still a fun game, and at its core, it's still Oblivion.
Yeah, it's essentially a remake. I don't know why they call it a remaster. It's like they redid the whole game, but it's great. Yeah, the faces again is because Unreal Engine 5. That's the problem.
That's my only issue. Like, why is I don't like
my biggest complaint
for that.
That's my biggest.
Other than that, the game is great.
Yeah, it's great. I to be fair, I've only got like 4 hours into it, but because Claire Obscure came out, and then
so many games coming out right now. You got Doom coming out in like a week. Doom comes out. So many games.
Doom comes out in 6 days, bro. I am so excited. I've got
the problem is there's so many games coming out. It's hard to keep up with all of them.
It really is, but Doom is one that was one of my number one games for the year that I was excited for. So like the mech that you get in and fight like essentially giant kaiju is crazy. Like the game, and it's essentially an open world Doom game, which is insane. They've added so much, and this is a prequel to the 2016 game. This game looks amazing. Like, I can't wait. I'm going to try to stream it, but I'll definitely be playing it. I would like to stream it though. I think I know so many people that are excited about this game. I've had it pre-installed on my computer for like a month. So I'm like really excited to play it on PC and see how it looks. I know it's taking like full advantage of everything on PC. Even taking advantage of the Series X. Like, it's really going all out. I've seen like the Series X footage, and it still looks absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'll be playing on PC. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, but I guess moving on, we are getting rumors that we might be having a game that hasn't seen the light of day since the PS3, and that is there's rumors essentially of another MotorStorm game in development from Stellar Entertainment, possibly. So nothing's for sure, but this is kind of what is being talked about behind the scenes, that this IP may be getting revived. It's the old PS3 trailer is what's
really cool about MotorStorm was I have 2 of the PlayStation 3D monitors, right?
Yeah.
Those were the MotorStorm was the packing game for that. And it looks amazing in 3D. Like, so good. Like they did a perfect job. That's a perfect pack-in title for it. Obviously a lot of people they are doing I got notifications Samsung's doing new 3D displays, monitors now. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I didn't hear about it at all.
Yeah, they just launched. Like, they just went up for sale. But they're doing like 3D monitors again, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how I played it, and I thought it was awesome. I loved MotorStorm. So much fun.
I've got small, fun, smaller games. Like, why ignore these? Because let's be fair, they're significantly cheaper and faster to make, and if you hit it out the park, you're making so much more money compared to how much money you put into it. You don't need $200 million games as your only games. You can make a $5 million game and it sell great. You can make $15 million and you tripled your investment essentially.
Yeah. So is this just called MotorStorm, or is there a subtitle for it?
It's just MotorStorm, because that was from the E3 2005 trailer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's an older game.
Yeah, it's an older game, but good series, man. Yeah, I forget what the subtitle for I think it's called. I can't remember the subtitle for the one that's it's a PS3 game, obviously, for the 3D monitor, but
yeah,
it's really, really good, and definitely
because they said there were also hints that PlayStation might be revitalizing other games like Patapon, Freedom Wars, and Everybody's Golf. So they some other stuff.
I will say this: Everybody's Golf next to Mario Golf are the best golf games in my opinion. They're arcadey, right? So it's like an arcadey sports game. And then Patapon is absolutely amazing. I loved it on the PSP. Really,
so hopefully Sony decides to
super fun.
hopefully they decide to make some good changes, get some smaller studios, make some of these older IPs. You don't need $50-100 million put into every single game. You can have a 10-man development team make some of these smaller games, and they can still do well and make money.
So Matt Long Gaming just brought up Pacific Rift. That is the one that's a pack-in title for the 3D display. So that's the one I played the most. I played a ton of hours on that. I've even got my 3D glasses charging right here. I got some new ones. Just got these ordered on eBay, but they're OEM and they still got the stuff on them and everything. I haven't used them yet, but I've got 5 pairs of them, and the battery is dead in all 4 pairs that I have other than this. So, and I actually, interesting fact, I have a development pair of the glasses that is USB connected that was used for development. I got it from a PlayStation distributor who set up at conventions, who had all PlayStation stuff. It's all stuff that she got. She had prototype stuff. I got a prototype. I have a prototype PS2. It's a just the unit. There's no hardware in it, but it was the design mold that they were using, and it came in a box. So it was like they use it for like investor meetings to show, and it was for the PS2 Slim. Like I have that, and I bought it from her like $20. Thing is worth like $400. It's crazy, but it's cool because it's like a prototype of the PS2 Slim, right? So it's like it's a really cool thing. But yeah, it's really neat. Off topic, but we go off topic.
There's nothing wrong with going off topic.
That's all right. We're good.
But I guess going in specifically, because it's like 2 different things, but essentially Cyberpunk, the devs came out and said that the physical media is not going anywhere. Essentially, they're like, no, this is like, the right thing to do with keeping physical media. And they've been quasi kind of vocal about, that physical media, shouldn't just go anywhere.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. I mean,
as well, because they also kind of
agree that it isn't going that way because we're already looking at the key card stuff, which is it's the same thing. It's literally.
But as of right now, CD Projekt Red is pretty much just saying like, nah, we need to maintain some level of physical media.
So I'm so happy that they're not doing that, and that's why I'm buying the game on. And I already own the game. That's why I'm buying it on Switch 2. And for one, it's going to really put the Switch 2 to its limits for me, so that I can see that. I know it's a great game. It's got all the content, all the bugs are fixed. It's running at 40 frames per second. It's not 60, but it's better than 30. And then 4K docked
DLC and stuff.
4K docked, 1080p handheld. To me, it's like, they're doing a great thing here. I think it's fantastic. This was very, very surprising to a lot of people when they saw that Cyberpunk was coming to Switch 2. They're like, "Oh, this is no joke."
Because it's on the Switch 2 before it's on Steam Deck or any other handheld.
It's not even. Yeah, they have not even coming to Steam Deck as far as we know.
Which at least not right now.
Yeah, I mean maybe
at least not until the Steam Deck 2 essentially.
Yeah, the Steam Deck 2. I'm sure it'll come to that, but right now it's crazy.
Because 100% they need some form of DLSS to get this game running on handheld hardware. It did not run like absolute crap.
They came out and said that it is using full DLSS, and
100%. They're getting every piece of juice out of the Switch 2 hardware.
So what I've heard from some inside people is that the DLSS that's being used for Switch is essentially like it's its own version that's around 3.5 to 4. So it's proprietary. It's its own version of DLSS. So there's no number attached to it. But that's the scale that it's at, which makes sense because when Cyberpunk came out, it was DLSS 3.5. So it makes sense. With the 40 series cards, they went to 3.5, and it made sense, and that's what it was on PC. But it also didn't come to PC until later. So
because they were also coming out and said this came from the somebody from the studio called Jan Roster. I don't know. Apparently they advised what the studio essentially came out and said not to underestimate the physical edition of the Switch, because the whole game is on the Switch. DLC, it's all the content.
It's great.
Essentially, they were noted as saying that they wanted the cartridge. I swear I could speak, to be a plug and play experience. Then this is the right thing to do. Like this is.
I agree.
should not be going away from physical. At least one major studio is saying, no, we're not going to go away from physical media.
This is why I have to support getting this game. I had to, because that is so, to me, that is so important. It's so disappointing to see all these great, fantastic games. You got Street Fighter 6 1 through 2 years edition coming out. It's a game key card. So I'm just getting it on the PS5
What's
now.
The point of getting it at that point? You just buy it digitally, because there's nothing on the card.
Right.
The cartridge.
As of right now, for me, the games that I'm getting at launch are the new Daemon X Machina game, Rune Factory, the new Rune Factory, Cyberpunk, and then Mario Kart World. That's what I'm getting at launch. I do already have Donkey Kong pre-ordered, but that comes out weeks later. So those are my 4 launch titles. That's what I'm getting. I love Rune Factory, great RPG series. I think it's fantastic. All those games are all on the cart. To me, the only reason I'd ever buy a game key card version is if it happens to be like a super deal and it's cheaper than getting it digitally already on the Switch. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like if I find some for $10 and you look on the eShop and it's still $40. That's the only case I would ever buy a game key card if there was a sale. But to me, I don't want to collect game key cards because it's absolutely pointless. You put it in, and the other problem is you put that. One thing that nobody's talking about is you put that thing in, it's got to update, and for a lot of people, it might take an hour or so. Like,
especially if you're on like some kind of Wi-Fi, you're not hard plugged in.
Yeah. It's and maybe even a couple hours. Like I've had when I got the PS5,
depending on how big the game is,
it took 4 hours to get that thing set
up.
Like
a 50 gig game over Wi-Fi is going to take a hot second to download
for sure. And they've got 64 gigabyte cards too. So it's like that's going to take a while to download. You know what I mean? People are going to be really disappointed when they see the game key card stuff, and a lot of those sales are going to be people that don't understand or know, or probably don't even care. Some of them may even be accustomed to it because of updates on, the PS5 and Series X that you have to do that sometimes take forever. If you don't have fast internet, it takes a very long time. So it's one of those things that it's unfortunate that this has been the case for so many good games that are coming on Switch 2. Like Street Fighter 6 is coming to Switch 2 with its own brand new version, and it's a game key card. It's just so that all the Capcom or all the Sega releases, every one of them, all game key cards. So Sonic, Raidu, which is essentially part of like Persona, the Persona series. What else is Sega doing there? I think there's 4 titles that are coming out from Sega, and they're all game key cards. It's unfortunate. Hey, shout out to Downing 1082. How's it going, man? And then Matt Long6 said, did you get Mario Kart World digitally? I forked over money to get it physically. So I did. I got the bundle, but I will absolutely 100% buy the physical when I get it for a way, way, way cheaper price, because I am going to have the goal for Switch 2 to have all the first party titles again, which is all very doable. It's not like a crazy goal or anything.
For its first party, that's what's doable. It's not everything on the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, that's my goal for the Switch 1. I hope to complete that once the Switch 2 comes out. Start buying those and hopefully more discounted games. But so a lot of PS4, PS5, Xbox games are just like game key cards. They are. Yeah, a lot of them on
you put it in and it's got to download the game.
Yeah, there are, and like you said, a majority
it's just not advertised.
It's not advertised. A majority of the games that are on the disc come from companies like Limited Run, Strictly Limited, companies like that, where like the whole point of it is to have the whole game physically. Like that's the point of those companies. So like for instance, Gimmick here, right? Like this is a limited run release, fully on the cart. There is no update. You know what I mean? So like that's one of the great things about those companies. Now they have done limited runs, had a couple of releases where updates just came out after the physical version of the game came out. So like there's nothing you can do about that. Like that's you can't control that. If there's more content later, which is like then you do have to download that. But I mean, I will fully support these companies that are putting it all on the cart. So it's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, and just to clarify, essentially it's just it's like a download key that's on the thing. So instead of plugging it in, it's just it's the key to download the game onto your system.
Yeah, you get a physical cart, but the game's not on it, essentially.
Yeah, there's essentially nothing on it. So it's like, what's the point? Just print off the cardboard paper that you just type the code in.
Exactly.
So it's like literally doing the same thing.
Doing a collection for those are like really, really silly because you don't even have the game to play on the cart. You have to download it.
Yeah.
So you're just basically getting it digitally. That's the concept there. Mr. Coffee said if you want to play old games on Xbox, you need the disc. It doesn't run off the disc as to download the games, and the disc is just the key to play it. Yeah, there's a lot of those that it is the key to play it for sure. So
at least Nintendo's kind of being upfront about what it actually is.
Yeah, I'm glad they are doing that. Because I mean I think that's important that they are actually that's being put out that hey, these games aren't. So
I think a lot of people don't understand that these discs, a lot of them do the same thing. They're just not telling you. At least it's not out in front. It might be on the back where you have to like read the fine print.
And I will say this. Most people are not us, and
most people don't care.
Most people don't care because we know the digital sales are crazy high. So like a lot of people just aren't even buying physical, period. So
I mean, people still want the option to play a physical game, but they just probably get the bulk of what they want. They might get one or two of games that they really like to have like a physical collection.
Yeah,
but they don't care to have physical or digital, or they just don't have a lot of room.
Like for me, here's a great example. Like we were playing Monster Hunter, and we got that at launch, and I was going to get it at launch for the PS5. You kind of convinced me to get it for PC, so I'm glad that I did. I think that was a great decision. The PS5 version is fine, especially if I have PS5 Pro. It looks much better. But I'm glad I got that on PC. However, that is a game I will 100% buy the physical for at a later date when it's much cheaper. Because a game like that is something that I do want to own physically.
I do that for some games like on Steam because you can get them really cheap.
Yeah,
because I prefer to play it on PC, but if it's a game I do really want, I'll get like a cheap used copy years down the road because I can just, $5, $10, $20.
The way I see it is like a lot of the games, unless it's like an indie game where it like absolutely doesn't matter, or it's like
you can only get a
side scroller, or like something really like kind of smaller scale that isn't going to perform better on PC than other stuff. I don't care, but I do prefer like a lot of games like Doom. I 100% will buy the physical for that, but I'm playing it on PC at launch.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. Taking full advantage of DLSS 4, I'm really excited about it. So I've had to succumb to dealing now with digital a lot more because of PC. So with that platform, it's fine for me. But there are
if you're getting because like let's be fair, the bulk of the time you're getting games on PC, you're getting a Steam sale, you're getting 50% or more off, so you can get them heavily discounted.
Yeah,
so there's a trade off.
The only full price games I bought are games that we
brand new games. Yeah, more often than not, like if you wait for a Steam sale, you can get a lot of games. I essentially say dirt cheap.
Yeah,
I think it's a trade off. Plus, if you really
the Steam sales for years have been great, so I'm
that's really like those are like the only time you should be buying like the bulk of your library outside of anything that like just came out that you really want to play.
I don't know when the next Steam sale is, but I'm looking forward
probably
to that.
I think it's the summer Steam sale.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I'll definitely be buying up a bunch of the cheap games. You see some of those games on there that are like normally $20, $30.
You can get them for like $3, $5. You get like 90%
like
off.
$1.99. You know what I mean? Like really, really cheap.
Well, because they've been out for a while. They might be some JRPG games, or games that are like 20 years old, and you just buy. You can get them so cheap. It's just like I get the physical, but like it's like a $2 game that I can get 50 hours out of.
I'll tell you what I do support. I know that you're not as big into GOG, but their new preservation program that they're doing, oh my gosh, it's crazy. The games that they are bringing out that were so like Theme Park, like Theme Hospital. I don't know if you remember these old PC games. They were basically like, like Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like it's the same concept. Like these games that I played back in the day, they have this brand new preservation program to save these games. And I think that is a
digital emulation's kind of where that's going to have to be because of it's easier to preserve like a PNG file than it is a physical photo.
But
because of the medium,
they're literally going after games that are stuck and are nowhere else. like a lot of old PC games, which I really appreciate because none of those are available on Steam. So like they're doing their own preservation program. I buy from GOG right now more than I do Steam because the sales are absolutely crazy good. Every week they have crazy good deals, like super cheap. It's like the Steam sale every single week for games. Like there's just so many. And the other thing I appreciate is it's DRM free. So I really appreciate that. I like Steam, but I like so much that it's DRM free on GOG. So like,
I think the difference is
GOG games.
Steam allows you to put DRM or non-DRM, where GOG probably says if you're publishing, it has to be probably DRM free. I assume
it's one of the things that scares me because like we've seen games taken away literally on your consoles, like removed if you own it.
That has happened. There's been games that have been delisted on Steam, but it's such a way that you can still re-download the game. You just can't buy it.
Yeah, there was
if you've already bought the game,
bought.
They still allow you to re-download the game. I've never run into that being an issue. And I think that's the right way to do with delisted games. That if you've bought it, you can still access your game. That's always like the biggest issue.
I can't remember what it is. I'd have to look. There was a Steam game that was being delisted that I bought specifically because it was being delisted in 2 days. So I was like, okay, yeah, I better grab that now. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. Oh, it was. I think it was Psychonauts. It was being delisted, so I bought it. And it was like really cheap too. So and great game. So I'm pretty sure that's the one that was being delisted. As of now, I've got 100 Steam games apparently. So, but I have
I've slowed
way
down.
more GOG games. Way more.
I haven't bought a lot of Steam games in quite. I haven't like spent a lot of money.
I mean, the only ones I bought are the games that we stream.
But I mean, to be fair, like they do Steam, they do sales. It's just not the big sale because I just pulled up right now. There's a Paradox Interactive publisher sale. They say up to 90% for certain titles, but like it's not always. They do sales all the time on all these platforms that you can get some of these games like really cheap.
Yeah, it's just
if you're willing to wait and
so
shop around.
I'm looking at right now. This is crazy to me. Like you look at the front page of GOG, and it's like there. Hold on, let me see if I can share it. Let's see.
He's gonna try.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, might be able to share it. Please ensure you granted all necessary permission and try again. Okay. Well, maybe
no, just because I wanted to say, because like you can get Stellaris right now, which is a really popular strategy game. It's like $10 right now.
These are all on the front page. So they've got Doom 2016, $3.99 on GOG. Breath of Fire 4, which has just been brought to GOG, which is a must-play RPG if you are a fan. If you like this series, this is a must-play game. I will be grabbing this, but it's $9.99. But I'm looking below here, and I'm looking at some of their other ones. They've got like an old PC game called Robin Hood: The Legend of Sherwood, $1.19. Moto Racer 2, $1.19. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, $10. Moto Racer 3 Gold Edition, $1.99. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, Digital Deluxe Edition, $6.82. And then another game, King of Dragon Pass, which is an old PC game, $2.15. You know, so it goes on and on and on. They've got so many. GOG is. I love GOG. I really do. There's the sales.
It's just.
I
think it's one of those things. There is a trade off with PC and it being a digital only platform. So,
I mean, like the way I look at it is, I use all of the launchers. I mean, because like Amazon Prime will give you a lot. I mean, I claim every game from that, whether I'm going to play it or not.
You should just use all the launcher because why not?
Yeah, I mean, like I even got Epic Games because they give free games away all the time. There's a free game every single week on Epic Games Store, so I get the free game. Yeah, so I mean, like, why not? It's free. I'm not going to complain that it's on a particular launcher that I don't play on that often. Like, if it's a free game, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Especially if you're a budget gamer. Like, it's a great deal. And it's a cool thing that they do. It gives you a new game to play. And like, I don't care. To me, like we just talked about all the physicals I have. To me, I don't care where I play it as long as I'm having fun. There are certain games that I would prefer to play on PC, but all I care about is having fun with the game. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything else.
That should be like the main goal of gaming is just to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. Like, I don't care. I don't care what I'm playing it. I don't care if I'm playing it on the NES. I love the console. As long as the game is good, that's literally all I care about. So to me, like the graphics stuff does not matter. It's all about gameplay and being fun. So that's just my take on it.
No, yeah, completely. I mean, speaking of console gaming, PlayStation, Sony has launched a new feature, essentially a what have you recently played feature, their little hub. So I don't know how well you can see this. Essentially on the bottom, it's like Elden Ring, just now and stuff like that. Uh,
Okay.
over it. Oh my god, they don't want to. I gotta man, look at. So you can see like recently what you played and stuff like this, and then I assume. So the feature shown information about a user's most recently played game, including time played, how many times it's been played in the past, and the trophy progression and more. I don't know if this is going to be available for other people to see, but at least you can see what you've done recently. I think it's a helpful thing to have on the front page instead of having to
For
dig
sure
through some of this information.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's cool.
And this highlights it a whole lot more and stuff like that. So to be fair, I've been on Steam so long. This is kind of Steam essentially has this depending on how you have your layout set up, but I'm so used to this being a thing on Steam that I keep forgetting it's like not, at least not out in the open like they have it on here for
Right.
Sony.
Yeah.
But it's a neat little thing. Obviously, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but it's an update you're not paying for, and it's just neat to be able to see what have you done recently? The hours played, the last trophy you've got, and stuff like that.
I like seeing see the analytics for your gaming.
For your games, like what you've played.
Yeah, I like.
That's another benefit. Like this has been a thing for so long. I play so much on PC that I'm definitely just kind of like used to stuff like this.
Yeah,
because I've got it laid out. Like I see like the top 10 games that I played in order, and it's easy to go. You click the game, you get a little feed of you and the friends, like when have you gotten certain achievements and stuff like that, your playtime and stuff. So
yeah,
I think good that at least a more helpful way to see some of this information is coming to consoles, at least to PlayStation. And then I haven't played Xbox hardly ever, so I don't know exactly how it works on that console.
I did want to quickly mention this is obviously going to be mostly for the live viewers, but if you are an audio listener and it comes out in time, right now on Amazon Prime Gaming, Wolfenstein 2 is free. Lego Star Wars: A Complete Saga, Amnesia Rebirth, and Star Wars Galactic Battleground Saga. So there's also Hypnospace Outlaw, Minecraft Legends for PC and Xbox, Doors Paradox, and there's a bunch of games here. So there's tons. If you haven't claimed like last month's, like there's a couple good ones like Thief Gold, Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, God's Trigger, Mafia 3 Definitive Edition, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. There's there's some really good stuff. So I highly recommend if you play PC, and there's often Xbox ones on here too. So like I can claim a game on PC and Xbox. For instance, I did that with Wolfenstein 2, and I also did it with Minecraft Legends. I claimed it on both. So which is really cool. So if you have an Xbox, they do Xbox games as well. But I did want to mention that it's for budget gamers, it's a really good deal. You already probably have Amazon Prime for orders, so it's like one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the next thing, I know they kind of brought up, I don't know how much you've heard about this, but essentially it was updated in the user agreement, but Nintendo is pretty much saying that they may brick your Switch if you're caught essentially modding the console and it connects to the internet. They're essentially doing this in a way to combat
piracy.
Piracy on their current consoles. Which I know it feels like a hot topic because a lot of people like to jailbreak their consoles. Though usually, if you're doing that, you don't want it to connect to a Nintendo server anyways.
Yeah,
because it can cause issues. But I've seen a lot of people come out and like this and like, all in favor of the piracy. But I've kind of been of one where like I don't necessarily see this as a problem because one, I don't mind piracy when there's no way to play a game. It's an old console.
Yes.
You're not making money for preservation, but I get it. Like we're with the Switch, we're about to go to Switch 2. Like I'm not necessarily in favor of pirating games. Like I
don't agree with pirating current
but,
games. I don't agree with that. But pirating games are not available for a platform or like The
it's out of print,
for
essentially.
NES, like the EverDrives for NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all those. Like those are all ROMs I have on the cart, but like you can't buy them. You know what I mean? So it's like, I do it for these old games.
And I'm all in favor
all my
of that.
EverDrives are filled up.
Because it's preservation, like these, you've already made your money. These games are decade plus out of print. Some of these games 3 decades out of print, probably almost never coming back and stuff like that. Like, I guess technically they're bringing it to NSO, but like Oracle of Ages and Seasons, like these games, like these, you're not really, unless they completely remastered. Like they've long since made their money.
I really
get it for current consoles.
I really hope the next 2D Zelda, because we got Link's Awakening, and then we got obviously the other Zelda game. I'm really hoping that the same team that did Link's Awakening does Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons.
They just start touching all these games, all these old Game Boy Color games.
Yeah, it'd be great if they did that. It really, really would be, because Oracle of Ages is one of my favorite Zelda games, period.
I would argue if we're going to do Ages and Seasons, they should just make it one
That's
game
what I'm saying. Together. Like they would have to technically, because to get the final ending, you have to own both games and have a link cable. That's the final.
Yeah, like let's be fair, they hopped on the Pokemon hype train at the time, and I just don't think it worked out well for them with the dual release. But I mean, then again, I also wish Nintendo would stop with the dual releases. But I get why they do it.
Even for Pokemon,
I still wish Pokemon was like a single release thing. I hate trade evolution Pokemon.
I love getting the double packs and stuff. I think it's cool because
if you're trying to complete the Pokedex for any game, it's a pain if you don't have 2 consoles.
But is it a pain if you enjoy the game? Is it really a pain if you enjoy?
I enjoy it, but like let's be fair, because you could look back in the day, you essentially needed 3. You would get like 2 or 3 versions of the console. Ideally, you or your friend would have a different one, and then they would come up with the 3rd version. But if you got the 3rd version, you'd still need the 2 other games to complete a Pokemon.
Yeah, true.
But you'd still have to trade with both, and it was in that aspect, it was a pain. It was a super pain. But if you just like playing the games, it's less of an issue.
Matt Long said, "Do you like the Hyrule Age of Imprisonment?" Yeah, we're both buying that for sure. We're looking forward to that.
For it. Yeah, I like the Age Calamity, the way that works.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it,
and I'm hoping this is the new,
and this is canon. This is canon too, so that's good to hear. So, I guess I thought Age of Calamity was technically canon, but apparently it's not. So
it's canon as far as it technically takes place in a alternate timeline, but it's still it's. I think that robot was from the timeline of the games, but when it went back in time, essentially it creates a separate timeline. If you have watched anything with time travel and alternate timelines, that's essentially what that was doing.
But yes, I did like Age of Calamity. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I really like the game. So,
and hopefully on better hardware.
You don't have the performances. That's the problem with Age of Calamity, is it does have some severe performance issues when you have
like 50, 100 on screen,
which is hard to do. It makes sense. So
as well as apparently this is another game from apparently on June 16th with physical editions. We're getting the Gex trilogy by Limited Run Games, and they're starting pre-orders today, May 9th.
I am getting it for sure.
And they're saying it's featuring widescreen resolution, better analog controls, and they say the 3 physical editions are standard, classic, and the tail time with, they say, unique bonuses. I'm sure it'll be on their site. Talk about another IP that's not gotten any love.
Yeah, I love Gex. I'm a huge fan. I played on PC back in the day, and okay. So if you love any of the 3D platformers like Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, like you would really like Gex. Gex is so good. This is one I haven't bought from Limited Run Games in a while, besides the ones I've got from Amazon. I am for sure getting this game. 100%. I love Gex much.
I'll say this. If you love this game to where you're willing to spend $200 on the Tail Time Edition, it comes with the Classic Edition contents, excluding the soundtrack CD, the collector's box, a 36-inch inflatable Gex doll, a 7-inch Gex statue, Gex trading cards, a remote pin, and the full soundtrack CD, essentially.
I'll tell you what, the box looks pretty badass.
They're going all out on the collector's edition.
It's got a lot of stuff with it. So I mean, like, it seems like a pretty good. I see. Like
this is the $200 collector's edition.
Oh, you're showing it. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff there. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And I love that the classic edition, it's PS1 style limited run on the side there.
Yeah.
Got the PS1 style. So I played on PC and PS1, I played on PC and Nintendo 64 back in the day. Gex 2 I also played, which I think was Gex 2 Undercover. Or that might have been 3. I can't remember, but I played Gex 1 and 2. I love those games so much, and I rented Gex 2. I owned Gex 1. I'm really excited about this. I love that it's all 3 games for one in the same package. And the one here, I have one complaint. My only complaint is, why is this, because of the date, why is this not coming to Switch 2?
Well, the Switch it's backwards compatible, so it's just,
I know, but it's like,
for the timeline, it's just put it on the Switch cartridge, and then it's backwards compatible. It's less of an issue for them.
Like the pre-orders don't even, I don't know.
And to be fair, at this point, it's better for them to have it on the Switch. If they have to pick one, because you
can play it on
Switch. They don't
too.
need it on the Switch too. The Switch has a big install base, and you can technically play it on both. So to them, that just seems like a win-win.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to grab on this. Whether I want to grab it for Switch or PS5, I'm not sure yet. I got to think on it, but yeah, I have to think on that one. Matt Long said, I was a Super Rare Games Gold member last year, but that did not seem to do much. Did not buy a ton from them. I've never done the Gold membership, but I bought games from Super Rare Games. Nick also said inflatable doll is weird.
Oh, it's an inflatable doll. You get a lot of them always look weird, to be fair.
And then no, Super Rare games are not on Amazon. Limited run games are being sold on Amazon, and that was I got 3 of them for $10. So
yeah, just wanted to run through a few things to get to the big stuff. Let's try to make sure I was grabbing everything. Give me just a second.
No, you're good. We can talk about whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, there's like 4 things at least I did want to hit up. The first one, not surprising. Actually, let me bring this up. People are already reporting that the stores are getting ready for the Switch 2, which is not surprising. It comes out a month. This was taken from someone posted this to Reddit, but essentially they're, stores like Walmart, they're getting ready for the Switch 2, so they're obviously getting their displays, ready to go here probably the next few weeks to advertise it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a neat little thing to kind of expect.
Yeah. Matt, I got them all for $10 each. I didn't get 3 for 10. They were $10 on Amazon. You gotta watch out for sales. I suggest following Wario64, Cheap Ass Gamer, IGN Deals, and those are like the 3 main ones that tweet out the deals for video game stuff, and even like Pokemon cards and stuff like that. So I definitely would follow them on X. I get their alerts, so that's how I see them. So
yeah, and then obviously because you were talking about it earlier about the clear, I think they said we're going to get more physicals. They just have to make more of them. They said that it was.
I'm so mad. I didn't get a physical, and it's being scalped.
Yeah, because they were talking about it. I had to pull it up. I don't know why you would do this when there's a $90 one right here. $1,400. This person's trying to sell the collector's edition of.
That's money laundering of that.
I mean, most of them you can get it around $100.
I didn't even know there was a collector's edition. Like for this, I love this game. I would love to get a collector's edition for it. It's one of the best RPGs I played in a long time.
To be fair, this one at $325 is a lot more reasonable.
That's the limited edition GameStop exclusive. See, I didn't even know. If I knew that the edition existed, I would have bought that for sure. But I don't
know if it was GameStop. It might be just where they bought it. But I mean, like, I get the $1,400. Like,
that's crazy.
Wouldn't recommend paying this, but like, this is a more reasonable price for the collector's edition. But it is unfortunate. Hopefully, at least just the game itself, they'll get more physicals out there, because it's obvious there's a market, and they did not make enough. For everybody.
They did it with the Lunar Remaster collections being sold at the same price, like $100.
I think what happened with this, I thought we talked about it, was they just didn't expect this game to be this popular, so they weren't prepared for the amount of demand they were going to have.
For the Lunar Remaster collections, like, Why would you? This is a new company, so like I can understand their point of view, but like Gung Ho doing Lunar is like, why would you think that wouldn't sell? I'm confused. Like the games are like $300 a piece by themselves on original hardware. Of course, it's going to sell. People want it at an affordable price. They want to be able to play the games. You don't want to have to spend $1,000 to get all the games for Sega CD, Sega Saturn, and all that stuff. Like, of course, So I don't know. I think it's a little weird. They didn't expect that, but it is a new company, so I give them that.
Now just make.
I hope and pray that I'm able to get a physical copy of it because I love the game, and if I love the game,
I have to pay like $100-$150 for it.
Will absolutely not do that. I don't buy it above MSRP ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It promotes that kind of crappy behavior.
Yeah, I don't promote that at all.
Speaking of scummy behavior, EA, everyone's favorite company. Love the segue. They came out and said, as of right now, they're not going to raise their game prices. But that is right now. They essentially said, we might in the future if market conditions stay right, which means it's only a matter of time before EA raises their price. They want other companies to take the brunt of the negative PR, and then they're going to quietly just increase the price of their games.
So they both said...
That's the way I read this.
Yeah, they both said that they're not going to raise their game prices for now, despite industry trends, but then also said... CEO hints at possible future price changes,
which means that they're coming. They're gonna wait. They want the heat to blow over before they do it themselves.
And to be fair, EA has come back better now. Now it's like Ubisoft is right. EA was like
Ubisoft's about to just go out of business.
EA was rated the worst company of anything for multiple years. Right?
They're still just as scummy. They just don't get the headlines anymore. They're same practices they were doing back then.
They're doing the practices, but I think they're better because people aren't talking about it now. I don't know. I don't play a lot of EA games, but
nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Okay. They're not grabbing those. Those
they lost me with Battlefront when they did the new Battlefront games like that. Was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
The problem was they just let other companies take the brunt of the PR. Like if you ever play an EA game, you're like, oh my god, they're just trying to steal my money.
Oh,
it's all over their games.
I know all about the Barbie 3DS game. I was going for a full set and I stopped. I know all about it.
Yeah, right. And then I guess the last thing before we get to our main topic is I know Brandon. He loves Bubsy so much. He's got a fursuit of Bubsy. I've seen it for myself. Don't let him lie to you. I know he has it.
Yeah, I have it. It's in my closet right now.
Oh.
I only put it on. I put it on special days. So
share the wrong tab. But no, essentially what they came out and they said the Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tales is going to be a part of this
Atari Jaguar game, by the way, which I love.
Yeah, which will be a part of this collection that's coming out later this year. Essentially,
I will 100% buy that collection. I do like Bubsy. I think Bubsy,
except for Bubsy in 3D, it was terrible.
Bubsy 3D is terrible.
Oh yeah, they got it there.
But the Bubsy game on Atari Jaguar, I really like.
I've seen gameplay of that, and you're like, what are you supposed to do? This is just like straight Porygons. That's all there is. Like you can count the amount of Porygons on the character.
It's the most different Bubsy game of all of them that I played. The one for the Atari Jaguar is the most different. It's kind of strange, but once you get the hang of the controls, it's pretty fun. But like the other games, like the Super Nintendo game, I like personally. Bubsy 2, I like personally. It's just Bubsy 3D is like the big problem. That's where it started to get.
That's what essentially killed this IP.
It killed the IP, but I 100% will get this for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of Bubsy fans out there. Need to make sure we hit that up.
Yeah, for sure. Matt said, have they confirmed that Switch 1 games will play better performance on the Switch 2? Some will. Some of them,
if they have an upgrade, it's for sure. But you assume that the better hardware will just naturally allow games to run better. But we only know we won't know until we actually have the console in hand that we can play the games.
The only thing we know are the games that say Nintendo Switch 2 enhanced so far.
Yeah, that's the only ones for a fact. But
yeah, I'll put my outfit on sometime. It's so cool, man. Furries for life. I do not have an outfit, guys. By the way, Mark was like,
I was just messing because it was funny. I don't know. if we get enough donations or subscribers, then Brandon has to. He gives me the side look.
No, I wouldn't give you a side look. Sorry, I think of a 100 text. I was trying to probably do my daughter text to me. So
you were doing that, and then I got a message. And I thought it was you. I was like, "Oh, what's he messaging me?" But I was like, "Oh, it's somebody else."
Who's messaging you, Mark? Is it
your mother?
Special lady? Oh, my mother. Okay.
My mother's dead. I'm like, oh, that's what you think.
Oh, okay. All right.
And at the response, I haven't changed. I'm still
Mark has the outfit. Boy. Yeah, Mark is the furry guy. He's he's even a brony. So,
those are. I will throw hands over that accusation. I have a reputation to uphold. Thank you very much. I prefer the term weeaboo. Thank you very much. I'm much more high class than that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You're a little better than some people, I will say. You're not right. You're not writing My Little Pony fan fiction.
In that instance, yeah, but we just kind of mentioned it beforehand. Doom: The Dark Age.
Yes.
The preloading begins. They say the preloading begins. What's it? The 11th, and it launches on the 15th, I believe. Yeah. So they say preloading's on the 11th this weekend, and then it comes out Thursday, essentially.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
This is about to be this is the next hype game, probably the biggest hype until the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah, I think so. This game is crazy because Doom 2016, Doom Eternal were already fantastic games. They went on a way larger scale with this game where it's essentially open world based on what they said and showed. And like you get the chance to get into giant mechs to fight like kaiju-like battles. You get what was it? Was it a dragon? I think you get a dragon as well to fly on.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get a dragon to fly on as well. Like the combat system that they're doing is it's different than the other games, and it's really good.
It's what you'd hope for,
Like you can see, look at this combat here. So if you're watching the video, you can see some of the combat, but the combat is different. Like you get a they turn a collar and then you can attack.
Oh yeah, this is the mech. It looks like on screen.
Let's see. Yeah.
If you're watching the stream on
video,
look,
here's
what's happening right now. The giant kaiju and the mech and stuff.
So you get a dragon and you get like a giant mech to fight like kaiju like monsters. Look at that. That's crazy.
They're just cranking up the insanity to like 1,000, and it's gonna be insane.
And this is a prequel. This is a prequel to the other games too, which is crazy. So look at this premium edition. You get up to 2 days early access, future campaign DLC, digital art book and soundtrack, Divinity skin pack. So I have it pre-installed with Game Pass on PC. However, I'm wondering if I want to buy this on PC and get the premium edition.
That Zoom it didn't work at all.
Because I definitely want to play this game on PC, but this is a game I will also very, very, very much want to own physically. So I guess I'll have to decide. Right now I have it pre-installed for Game Pass, but premium edition, I don't care about the 2-day early access necessarily, but the other stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, so hopefully you can see this fairly well, but like New York, early access is on the 12th. It launches on the 14th, essentially. I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern on the 12th for early access. No, yeah, they just did the same thing. So I don't know those times. I think those times are just for the regular launch, and I don't think we have the hard times for early access. But this game launches on the 14th, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. my time, right? Yeah,
yeah, and then it's 5 p.m. on the West Coast, essentially. So it's unlocking at the same time. It's just your local time that the game unlocks.
I mean, that's cool. Like I've never cared about that early access stuff, but the other stuff's cool, and this is a game I'm very, very, very.
Do you want to pay an extra $40 to play the games 2 days early?
I think I probably won't do that because I am playing at PC and I want the physical for it. So I think there's no point for me to probably buy it on PC when I am going to buy it physically to own for my collection. So I probably won't do that. I'll probably just play it on Game Pass and then buy the physical at a later date, I think.
Yeah, but there was a catch coming out, so we haven't gotten hard information on this, but it's being alleged that there'll be essentially, they say, a little data on its physical version, resulting in you still needing to download the bulk of the game with the disc. So essentially, we don't know for sure, outside of obviously the patches and the updates, but that the fact that the disc essentially may act as mainly a key to download the actual game.
Yeah, so it's just going to have part of the game,
like but we don't know that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I will say, obviously I'm physical all day long, every chance I can be, but this is such a big game that it kind of makes sense that they're doing it that way. I kind of get it.
I don't know how big the Blu-ray discs can get, or how big the game is actually supposed to be.
I would think, I would think technically this should be able to hold the whole game. However, I think it's just easy. I'm not saying obviously I would love to have it fully on the disc, because I want to buy it physically to own it, but it's like, you still got to download stuff. Kind of sucks. It could potentially, this game, surpass what the Blu-ray can hold. It's possible. I forget what the hold rate is for Blu-ray. Maybe we can look it up.
I mean, you can look. I was trying to figure out how big the game was on Steam.
So, maximum capacity of Blu-ray disc depends on the type. Single layer is 25 gigabytes, dual layer 50 gigabytes, and triple layer is 100 gigabytes. Quadruple layer is 128 gigabytes. So this is definitely past the quadruple rate, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so because they say on the system recommendations on Steam, they're saying storage 100 gigabytes of available space. So it's a larger game. In theory, they could put it on a disc. I don't know if they want to spend the money. I don't know how much of the game was.
I'm assuming the layers cost more. The bigger.
100% it does, and they just don't want to pay for it. So they're like, no one's going to care. They're going to buy it. It's essentially a digital download key.
That part's unfortunate.
I mean, to be fair, like if that's essentially if that's the actual thing, at that point, why even bother getting a physical? I would just buy it on Steam at that point and not care about the physical. But that's just me.
I'm for sure playing it on Game Pass. I mean, I already got it pre-installed. Like I play it free there on Game Pass. But yeah, I'll have to decide if I would want to buy it on PC or still just get a PS5 copy for the shelf. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess I have it pulled up because on the recommended, either one an AMD Zen 3 or Intel 12th Gen CPU at 3.2 gigahertz with 8 cores, 16 threads or better. And then for the graphics, NVIDIA or AMD hardware ray tracing capable GPU with 10 gigabytes dedicated VRAM or better. Examples are the RTX 3080 or better, and then the RX 1600 or better as far as the recommended specs.
So recommended is 3800
with ray tracing, essentially. Ray tracing
what is there? Do they give any other stats above the recommended?
That's just the recommended graphics.
What's the minimum? I'm curious.
The minimum graphics, NVIDIA or AMD hardware ray tracing capable GPU with 8 gigabytes dedicated VRAM or better. Ooh. Examples: the RTX 2060 Super or better, and for AMD the RX 6600 or better. So essentially, if you've got a higher end
2060.
If you've got a better graphics card than what they were saying, you should be good. Like if you have a 40 series, you should not have a problem.
Yeah, obviously, for sure.
You're not going to be able to max it out because on the recommended settings, that was for 1440p at 60 FPS, high quality. The minimum was 1080p 60 at low quality.
This does support DLSS 4. So if you have a 50 series card, whether it's a 5070 Ti or 5080, 5090, it does support DLSS 4. So I know that obviously you're going to be able to max out with that. But a 40 series would run this fantastic too.
Yeah, it should for the most part.
Yeah.
At the very least, if you're trying to run it, no higher than 1440. Well, I only have a 1440p monitor, but obviously, if you want a 4K, you're gonna need a higher storage. But it's pretty obvious that this game is going. You're starting to get to the point where ray tracing hardware is going to be a requirement moving forward.
Yeah,
in few years. It's less of an option and it's more of a you need to have some level of ray tracing in the game. So you need hardware,
pretty much,
which means you're going to start to need to upgrade to probably at least a high-end 30 series, if not just straight to a 40 series.
Yeah, I think so too. And plus,
or just you have a console. That, like
the games that are now doing frame generation is like another thing, which is like a 50 series thing. That's, I feel like, going to be a big deal for a lot of games that are coming out. This could be using frame generation. I won't know until 100%. I play it.
the next console that's going to be like required. Ray tracing, frame generation,
Yeah,
for DLSS
100%.
will be like required on the next.
Because like frame generation is the new big thing, right? Like it's the new big thing for the 50 series. So I think that, and it makes sense. It maxes out your frame rate way higher than it normally would be. So like if you're normally running at 120 hertz, you might be running at 350 hertz. You know what I mean? Or 350 frames per second is what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, like it's pretty crazy. So I just claimed all the Twitch Prime games. I felt like it took like 5 hours. Well, if you stay on top of it, it shouldn't take that long. I did it while I was live on here with the other 4. There was only 4 new ones for me. It only took a second, but crap, I don't want to upgrade. Yeah, Matt, I forget what you told me your setup was, but I think that you're probably in the area to upgrade your graphics card and CPU, if I remember correctly. But I think that maybe saving up for that to upgrade to something affordable, like
even like how like new games trying to play.
5070 Ti would be relatively affordable now. Even if you went with a 40 series, you'd be fine. So
like a 4080, you'd be more like if you bought like a 4080, you'd still be good for like 3-4 years.
But like now they're doing, obviously the 4050. It's like I think it's like $400.
No, I haven't. I'm not like up to date all the time. Like I really only.
But there are some that are affordable for the 50 series. Like, but it's obviously
probably the 60s and 70s would be the more affordable ones, I would have to guess. And if you could get a TI, get the TI, because usually those are better. Though obviously you want to, obviously do your research on what's actually like benchmarked to perform better and stuff like that.
Oh, you have a 3070? Well, I mean it's hard to say because a 3070 isn't too bad.
It's like borderline for the
1440p. Probably be in at least the 40 series if you're going.
I don't know. I would say you probably get another year out of a 3070 before it just starts to become minimum specs.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Especially the frame generation stuff that's happening. The V catch, the I don't know. It's hard to say for sure.
Because remember, I
keep it on your list to potentially upgrade if you got an i7, not terrible. I have an i9 14th gen. I'm actually considering, Mark, I haven't talked to you about this, but I know we talked about, we're like pretty Intel with the CPUs, right?
Yeah, it's just always who I've used.
I'm thoroughly considering getting an AMD CPU because
I've heard a lot of people say it's just better.
Yeah, for gaming 100%. Like Elder Scrolls, for instance, you can't use the VCache. I think it's called Is it VCache or VRAM?
I think it's VRAM.
Okay, so you can't use the VRAM. I have the i9 14th gen. That's the highest for the standard Intel. So there's also Intel Ultra, which is meant more for gaming, but it still does not compete with the AMD like 9950 X3D. So like I was thoroughly, and I'm having issues. Like there are things that I noticed in Elder Scrolls that are bothering me really bad because I'm not able to use that feature whatsoever. It's not even available on my CPU. You could see the screen tearing that happens. You can see it in the movement. You can see it in the combat. And it's unfortunate because it's still, I at the time paid like $600 for my CPU. But I do other stuff too. So it's one of those things where I have to like highly consider if I want to do that because AMD CPUs are really meant for gaming. Most of the standard AMD CPUs are meant for gaming. They do make a workstation type one that you can buy as well. It's much more expensive.
It's one of those things where like Intel was on the top for so long, but AMD is just getting better now. So now they're essentially making better hardware.
Yeah, and I agree.
You hope it's a back and forth, but they just kind of like one gets better and the other has to do something else to kind of get better. But everything I've heard, AMD is probably like the way to go as far as the CPUs.
I have never used AMD for CPUs, even like with my laptop stuff. It's always been Intel. Even back in the day, it's always been Intel. So this is something I've just been considering because of the games coming out with the VRAM. Like I don't even have an option to use it with Elder Scrolls, and you can tell. I don't like that. I can tell like it's very noticeable that I'm having the issues, and I have a 5090. But the thing is, I feel like it's already with Elder Scrolls getting kind of what's it called, where they're not like jiving together. Like one of them's getting.
I don't know exactly what you're trying to say.
You got to have, they got to, I forget what the term is for it. One's getting like kind of locked out. I don't know what the term is. I forget what the PC term is for it, but you got to have them. They both got to be good together, essentially.
You mean bottlenecked?
Yeah, bottlenecked. I think it's actually getting bottlenecked with that, which is still.
So then your CPUs, you're getting your performance is maxing out because of your CPU. Your GPU is not maxing out performance, essentially.
Correct. I think because I have a better GPU, that it is not going well with the i9.
Your performance is capped because your CPU can't keep up with the rest of your hardware, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
That's usually why you want to upgrade those together, and you want them to be able to do the same thing.
I did only get the CPU like 5 months ago or something, so I've not had it 5-6 months ago. I haven't had that.
Then again, to be fair, this could be a thing that until recently these games weren't using, so you weren't seeing.
They weren't using the VRAM, but like you see it with Oblivion, it's like it's bothering. Like it legitimately, while I'm playing, it's bothering me. There's some things I can ignore and just deal with.
Usually, you can go into the settings and tweak it to where you're lowering some kind of graphics, but you're getting rid of whatever issue you're having by tweaking your settings. As far as the performance goes.
Oh, you're welcome, Matt, for the Twitch sub. No problem. Yeah, we appreciate you watching, hanging out, and all that stuff. So I definitely wanted to give you the sub. Yeah. So what we got next?
I guess talking about PC hardware, the Xbox Asus Handheld was leaked a few days ago.
Yes.
Essentially, you're getting the next ROG Ally is essentially a hybrid with Xbox. Essentially, what it's being rumored to be.
Both. There's both a new Asus and there's and a Xbox version Asus as well. So this is the one that we've got here for the Asus Xbox handheld, which is white. Now, what I don't know is the difference. My guess is that this one is straight out of the box with Game Pass.
Probably almost guaranteed it's going to just plug and play with some kind of Xbox operating system.
But what I'm thinking is, and I could be wrong, we don't know yet because we don't know the details, but I'm thinking this would actually be better than buying the other Asus, simply because this is ready to go with Game Pass, and you can probably still do all the other stuff that the Asus ROG Ally does. Is what I mean.
Obviously, we've got time. There's no official, so we won't know until they officially announce this. But now we know it's coming because it was leaked, essentially. So
I mean, we knew like 6 months ago.
But now we actually have like hard proof that this is a thing coming.
Yeah, and there were the rumors that they were going to be working with other company, and it is like Asus. I would say is well, you can tell by the sales. Obviously, is bigger than the Steam Deck. Better than the Steam Deck.
Steam Deck's been out for quite a while. Like the Steam Deck 2 is like long overdue, to be fair.
Yeah, it really is. Like they did the Steam Deck OLED, which was a cool upgrade, but it was kind of like the Switch situation.
It's just a new screen. There's no real hardware upgrade.
Like OLED's great, but it was like, there's no hardware upgrade. So it's like these games are requiring more. And when you have a PC handheld, like it gets out of date pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean? Like you need to be constantly upgrading because the games are getting new hardware they can perform on. Like every 2 years, you essentially would need a new handheld.
Yeah. I mean, but I think that we'll see. I want to see more information on the other regular Asus. But I've told you over and over. I said I think I probably want to go with the Asus ROG Ally just because I do know they perform much better than the Steam Deck. Now, if the Steam Deck 2 comes out and it runs like because they were adding Steam OS even to ROG Ally, so it's like at that point. Like essentially is a Steam Deck 2, as well as like a Windows machine. You can play Game Pass. There's so much you can do on these handhelds, on an Asus handheld. So if they're doing Steam OS on Asus, it's almost like why would you buy a Steam Deck at all when you can have a system that does way more than just Steam? You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. So I when you sent me that, I said, more than likely I'll buy the Xbox version just because it'll come out of the box as Game Pass. But if it still has access to everything else, like the other Asus, like SteamOS, then I'll definitely get that version. But if not, because I've been holding out for the next Asus ROG Ally or Steam Deck 2, depending on how they, the launch of them. Because I do want a PC handheld, but right now I don't want any of the ones that are currently on the market. But
because you're gonna buy it, and then within like a year, there's gonna be a much better one.
Even the Asus ROG Ally X, which is $800 by the way, it's a beefy handheld, but like is already being out of date because of like the VRAM stuff and like the frame generation and like all the stuff. So PC development is like there's so much happening all the time.
Every year there's new hardware coming out. It's just a matter of how quickly game development.
Right. And like
not only you, like, because like, let's be fair, ray tracing has been a thing forever. It's just not been a mandatory. It's been an optional thing that you can add to, but it's not like the primary thing.
Now you have, what's the other thing called that's like ray tracing, but it's supposed to be better? Indiana Jones does it. It's called I
know what you're talking about. I just can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it's like the better version of ray tracing. What's it called? Daggone it.
You'd have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll see if I can look it up.
I know it continues to add more and more stuff, but like as that stuff becomes essentially hard baked into the game development, it requires newer hardware. And that's always the
path tracing. That's what it's called.
Because it's always the issue with PC hardware, where with consoles you're good for like 6-8 years with the plug and play. Where PC, it's like, every 4 to 6 years, realistically, you need to be like upgrading your hardware. If you don't want to be falling down to like minimal specs and stuff like that.
The thing that I appreciate about consoles is you very rarely have to worry about your game just shutting down for no reason at all, or like the weird PC stuff that happens. But
it's like a trade-off for constantly better performance, but you have to make sure you're putting money into it to get better performance out of it, and have more flexibility and mods and everything else that you can do on PC, as well as everything else that a PC does.
Yeah, Mr. Coffee said, I'm okay with just Steam Deck. The other one's not sure for how on you will keep getting software updates. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm definitely holding out for the next iterations of the PC handhelds, and then I'll decide then. I'm not going to like rush into it because like the Asus ROG Ally X, which is the best one on the market right now, it's very powerful, very, very powerful handheld, is $800. It's like $800. So I'm just going to hold out and just see what happens with these other releases. The Steam Deck 2 could be like 2 years away for all I know. You know what I mean? We haven't seen any physical stuff for it, but the Asus ROG Ally was probably the route I was already going to go because Steam announced SteamOS on the other platforms. So it's like, if I can already do Steam and a bunch of other stuff, why would I get a Steam Deck that I can only play Steam?
I'm all for SteamOS because I'll be damned if I get Microsoft Windows 11. I refuse to get it. It's got so much crappy malware baked into it.
You ready for 12?
I mean, 12 is going to come out in another 2 years anyways. I want to go back to 7 personally, but
I mean, 10 is definitely better than 11, but I would like to go back to XP. Just saying.
Nah, let's go to Windows Millennial 2000. Let's get real.
Okay, that was a really bad operating system. That was really bad. That's one of the worst.
No, Vista. Vista was
really bad too. So Millennium was really bad as well.
No, Brandon's like, no, I want to go back to 96. Actually,
I mean, Windows 7. Windows 7 was great, right?
I think it was peak in design. They should just kept updating Windows 7.
I disagree. I think XP was peak in design, but Windows 7 was great. So
Windows 7 was where they peaked.
Okay.
I don't know. But if you're like me and you've been living under a rock, you may not know, but I assume you do know. We got a trailer 2 for GTA 6 around the same time that this game has a year before it actually comes out, because it comes out May next year.
Well, it got pushed out. Yeah, delayed.
They say that essentially more or less to get worked on. It's still not expected to come to PC at launch. It's, still coming to those two, but they're essentially giving themselves another 6 to 8 months of development time.
While there's no gameplay shown, It looks beautiful, and we're looking at it in 1080p right now.
So what's your? I put it 1080p just because I don't want to interfere with the stream and stuff like that, and it's going to be hard to see the 4K. But
yeah,
they came out and they said this was captured in game using a PS5, and it was comprised of equal parts gameplay and cutscenes, according to Rockstar Games.
I mean, this is crazy. It's not even PC, and it looks fantastic. Obviously,
they're trying to get everything out of the PS5 and the Xbox One.
To be fair, they've had longer than like anybody ever to make the next sequel to the game.
To be fair, 5 came out on the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah.
It skipped a whole generation of consoles.
So I guess like the whole concept of this is like a Bonnie and Clyde type story, from what I understand, which is I mean could be pretty cool.
It's an interesting take on a GTA story, because they've always had a lot of content and they've always been fun to play, but like they've always had a pretty decent story in most of the GTA games. Now GTA 1, I'm pretty sure was pretty light on the story, but yeah, I have seen a really funny meme about this where it's just like or it was V and Pan Am. Like, oh, V and Pan Am finally back, and you look, you're like, oh, this character looks very similar to V and Pan Am from Cyberpunk. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
male V and Pan Am, if to be specific, obviously, but
yeah, for sure.
I thought it was a funny comparison that one of the screenshots they made.
I'm curious the engine on this because like the faces look really, really good.
I'm pretty sure they're using whatever
proprietary engine.
I'm pretty sure this is a proprietary Rockstar.
Well, it would make sense then, because like faces look really good. Actions look really good. The movements looks natural. The hair movement, even just look at it,
looks like what you'd expect from Rockstar. And let's be fair, the billions that they've raked in from GTA Online and
oh my god, it's insane. Yeah, it's
100%. This has the chance to be probably. I would not be surprised if GTA 6 becomes the best selling video game of all time.
Well, I think next year it's a game of the year, right? Like I feel like there's no we don't even know like most of the games.
Whatever year this game comes out in, it's winning. It's sweeping every game awards across the board.
Yeah, this is we're not even in 2026, and this is going to win game of the year. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm pretty sure we didn't really see any. You probably saw some in-game cutscenes.
There was zero
gameplay. Like maybe in the game on the rail stuff, because they said it was equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. But it's like this is a gameplay, but it's nothing's happening that you could really do type thing where you're the whole like you're on rails and stuff's happening. That's essentially probably what they were showing us at this point.
I did want to shout out, I have on the YouTube, if we get 10 super chats, I am doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away I got a couple games I have ready for giveaway. Also, I have a signed copy of NBA Jam from the announcer of NBA Jam. So
come on and jam. And welcome to this, or however the song goes.
So I got that, as well as I do have a Pokemon card set that I've got ready to give away as well. So I did want to announce that.
Yeah, obviously we got a lot more time before, but I think pretty much everyone's just getting hyped for GTA 6.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a massive launch.
It's gonna be huge, but so is Mafia the Old Country. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was I didn't hear anything about this. Like everything else was sucking up all the air out of the room, especially with the GTA 6 trailer dropping.
Yeah, and you know what's great about this game? It's $50.
Yeah, not every game needs to be that standard 60, 70, 80, 120.
I mean, the Mafia games are already great, but this is like way different. This is more of like on the Red Dead Redemption style of, area and what you're playing. Obviously you're riding horses, and it's the old country, so it's a way different Mafia than what we're used to. Way different.
Is this supposed to be a sequel to something? I'm pretty sure there were other games in the series.
I could look that up. I think it's a prequel.
I couldn't remember, to be honest. I've not played any of these Mafia games before, so it's
you haven't? Well, this would be a great starting point for you, I think. It's going to be for a lot of other people, too. It says, Mafia the Old Country is a prequel, not a sequel, to the original Mafia trilogy. So it is a prequel. I figured.
That would be a decent starting point. I'm sure they've taken that into account, because
I mean, look at
the last Mafia game come out.
I got it on PS5, so it's not been that long.
Okay. I guess it might just be an IP that I just missed. Then
it is a great IP. It's really, really fun, Mark. It really is like this, but this is so different that like it's got me way more interested because of how different it is. This is not anything like the other Mafia games. This is way different. So and $50, like I'll take it. I mean, that's cool.
Comes out August 8th, so you're only like 4 months away from this game coming out.
Yeah, Neek said, "Are there haters who think it will flop?" I have not seen anything negative about this game whatsoever. I've only heard positive stuff from people on X and Facebook. So,
until you get closer, it's when all the controversy comes out. It's a game that you're
I don't think that's going to be a deal with this game. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see a $50 game that looks great. I'm all for it.
Yeah, so just because I was reading something about this, they say it was confirmed that the game will not be an open world. Instead, the game will focus more on narrative-driven experience. And yeah, it's going to be a $50 game. So from what I understand, that's like the big major changes from the other games.
I'm fine with that narrative game. Not everything.
Not everything needs to be. I've said it before. Not everything needs to be open world. There's nothing wrong with
some games in between the open world games.
A linear story-driven game. There are good games out there that are fun to play.
I agree. Yeah, I'm okay with it not being open world. I don't need everything to be open world.
Because I feel like open world is like a really small genre. Then everything went towards it, and then the story suffered because, like, let's be fair, open world games are great, but it requires a more open.
Depends. To tell some are really bad, some are really good.
Well, even the best ones can't. It's hard to tell a story as good as a narrative driven.
Tears of the Kingdom, for instance, right? The story for it is picking up memories, and you got to find all of them.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of that, but I mean, and you see in a lot of Bethesda games, they're all open world. Like, some of the best ways to as far as storytelling is environmental storytelling.
Yeah, sure.
To pique your interest, read books. You just see skeletons or you see stuff on the ground, and you have to you can ignore it, but you can also kind of go down the rabbit hole trying to figure out what happened and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with the narrative experience with it. $50, it's a no brainer. It looks really good. I like that type of setting, and it's way different than the other Mafia games, and it's obviously prequel, so it's a great starting point for people. So yeah, looks cool, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, and then because we're gonna play the game tomorrow, there was an update. Yeah, apparently they added new stuff into Schedule 1 recently. One of the big ones, I guess, that they added. I'm pretty sure there's more properties you can buy. You can buy a jukebox, as well as I think the big one is the new recipes. Jukebox is a storage unit, like a dock warehouse and something like that. I'm pretty sure the two new ones. It's like another indie game that's just gotten really popular, and a lot of people are playing and talking about. Same thing with the Rico game.
If you played it, it says storage unit property will be located at the north end of the overpass next to the casino and costs $5,000, which should be pretty easy to do. To purchase from Ray's Realty. And yeah, I mean, I'm all for updates for the game. We love it. So we're streaming it tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to stream it more again soon. I know we're going to do something else next week, but I'm sure we'll probably end up playing it again because we're having
3 weeks in a row, and they're like, all right, we do have to play some other games.
We got to break it up a little bit. Matt Long 6 said, let's get this giveaway started. Yeah, for sure. To me, the inventory management and fast travel mechanics matter. Yeah, that's understandable for sure.
Oh, we just get quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, we got quiet.
You just stopped talking. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Oh, no, I thought you were going to the next thing. So it looks like Pokemon TCG Pocket. We're getting the Giratina EX Snorlax deck guide. So it looks like Triumphant Light. It was considered one of the worst cards ever printed. What do you know about that?
I'm not.
It says when Snorlax was released and Triumphant Light was considered one of the worst cards ever. We got a sample desk list that I can share. Oh, you're already sharing.
Yeah,
okay.
I got to post. So this is supposed to be like the deck. You'd get 2 of the Giratina EXs, 2 of the Snorlax, 2 Greninjas, 2 Froakies, 2 Research Professors, 2 of the Pokemon Center Ladies, 2 Berries, 1 Cyrus, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Rare Candies, and 1 Rocky Helmet is like this Giratina EX Snorlax deck. And there is probably a proper way to play this deck, but I've not used like any of these cards when I'm playing PvP or PvE. So like I'm not 100% sure on how this deck would be played, but obviously based off of how Greninja plays, he'd be, on the bench, and probably the Giratina or Snorlax going to be up front. And
I pulled a really cool Greninja EX card the other day. I'll have to show you. It was like the design of it was really cool. But the Giratina, I mean, anything Giratina is cool. I still have not pulled any Giratina.
Like this Giratina, like a
that's
little
so cool.
Earth thing. That's a really cool card. I would love to
You know what I've found out since now that I've gotten into the cards too, like you and Lucas got me into the cards, like the actual cards again, but mostly you.
when you can actually find them.
Right. So I want to tell a story real quick. So I went to Walmart today. Unfortunately, I could not afford to get a bunch of stuff. I got one thing, which was the Cleaver V-Star, and I got one single pack of Journey Together. But surprisingly, the guys that come and scalp, they did last week come because I had to wait in line for Pokemon cards last week. They did not come this week because there was about 100 packs of Journey Together. There were 3 of those. There were 2 more sets of another V-Star Pokemon, and there were like 5 of the Charizard lunch boxes, which I actually have one of them in the background. I pulled one of the best cards I have out of that. One of the most expensive cards came out of that like Charizard lunchbox style thing. Hold on, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then Matt Long says, "Oh, for the giveaway super chat to count, I think I have to super chat at least $5 or something." Well, enjoy. No, we appreciate the super chat, Matt, over on the YouTube side. Yeah, that is a cool little lunchbox.
Yeah, I pulled one of the best cards I have out of it. So it was and I think it's like 25, so it's pretty good. And I've still got. Do you want me to show you the ones I still have to open? I haven't showed it all. Okay.
No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can't find like any Pokemon cards. They just don't exist around me, so I'm just kind of like SOL.
Well,
which sucks because they're fun, but
online, I'm getting online.
Yeah, it's pretty much what you have to do now, because the scalpers or just other people just buy it up the moment that they drop them. So you're like, oh well, I guess I'm screwed.
I will say, I was able to get both the Black Light and White Flare ETBs, one of each, on Pokemon Center. That's it's one of the new sets coming out. So it's Destined Rivals is the first new set, and then the Unova set is right after that. So Destined Rivals is getting overshadowed because the Unova set has over 800 cards. It's one of the biggest ever because you've got white Flare and then the black, I forget what it's called, black something. So for the Unova region, over 800 cards in total for those two, because they're 2 different sets.
Because usually they're 3 to 500 card is how big the sets usually are for a lot of them. They're anywhere from like 350 to like 500.
So I got Shrouded Fable ETB that I haven't opened up yet. Hops Zacian box EX set. This one is really cool. This is the Pikachu VMAX set.
Oh yeah, that's a cool set.
Yeah,
that's a Crown Zenith one.
Another Crown Zenith. This is the Regieleki 5 set. Another Crown Zenith. And then I've got the Houndstone EX set. And I've got the Palafin EX box. So those are the ones I still have of those. And then I also got, I'll show this real quick.
Gotta run and grab it real quick.
1 pack of Journey Together. 1 more pack.
The single individual one.
Just a single individual one. But hopefully they had like 100 there. It's just unfortunately I couldn't afford to get anything else. I got the that box and I got 1 pack. If I could have got more stuff, I would have, because they're going to be gone. Because what happened last time when I got those the Journey Together packs that I sent you, I got like 8 of them. The next day, I was like, I probably should have grabbed a few more of these. Every single one of them are gone, and there was like 100 there. So, like, these are going to be gone for sure. Yeah. The next time I go there to see, they're going to be gone. Oh, Matt, you actually commented on X. I thought people couldn't comment on X. I'm not sure about that. That's what I've been told. And yeah, maybe it's a restream thing, because I know when I comment on X on people's lives, they never see it. So interesting. All right, do we got anything else, Mark?
I was going back through. Matt Long super chatted $1 over on the YouTube.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
What's that? Neek, to me, the inventory management and fast travel mechanics matter. I'm not sure exactly what game we were talking about.
I think that was with Mafia.
Yeah, it might have been. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, you're good.
I also said I got 94 hours in Schedule 1 so far. Definitely dedicated a lot of time to Schedule 1.
I mean, people love it. It's a great game. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to hit the super chat for today, but I will. I'll run it again next week.
For the giveaway.
Yeah, I'll run it again next week. I've got a whole box specifically of giveaway things, so I've got enough for like probably the whole year. I've been saving the giveaway box for a long time. Tons of stuff, signed copies of games from people that were involved. I've got new games that I picked up. I've got Pokemon card sets that I put in there now. So I've got a big box set in the back of the room, or in another room, all for giveaways. So
Matt was asking if you could show it.
I can next week. It's in another room, so I'll definitely show. But I've got a whole box of giveaways for stuff.
Like pictures or didn't happen. I need video proof that this exists.
Yeah, I want to do specific giveaways for different social media platforms, but I really would like to do a giveaway for the lives. Would be great. So that's why I set it at the minimum of 10. But just a chance for you to get a giveaway, and it'll definitely be worth it. So, but I think that's all we got for this week. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah. Started a half hour late, but we made up for it going a half hour long.
It's totally my fault. I truly apologize. That was absolutely ridiculous.
I was like, I guess maybe
myself.
I was like, maybe he got busy. Something came up, and just gonna have to like make this will be a wash.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, and I appreciate it. I got it obviously scheduled, but I appreciate you helping with the notes and stuff. That really helped out. So
actually grabbed more than we needed, and I was like, this is gonna take.
That's good.
4 hours to go through the rate we're going.
It's better to have more than not have enough. So, but we appreciate everybody watching. If you are listening on an audio platform, please leave a rating, a follow, or subscribe depending on the platform you're on. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on like 25 different apps, so you can find us pretty much everywhere on all the podcast platforms. What's the app that we keep getting charted for?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I have to go with you. I did not write it down. I remember what you told me.
Let me see if I can find it, because it's one I don't personally use, but we chart almost every single week on it.
Yeah, I'm bad. Most of the podcasts I listen to on YouTube, so I'm not the right person.
Me too, but apparently we obviously get a lot of audio listeners from other places.
Yeah, there's like a dozen or 24 different.
We're on 20. We're on 27 to be exact. 27 different platforms.
There's almost 36 platforms.
Yeah, so I don't know why I can't think of what it is right now, but anyway, yeah, we're also on like Podbean, Podcast Republic, Apple, like I said, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Castro. So if you're on any of those, leaving a rating, follow, sub, whatever the platform allows, definitely helps. And then also you should really check out the live video every single Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Really fun. Like I said, we showed off pickups. We usually do that every week. We show different videos and stuff, so it's a little more interactive if you're watching the video.
Yeah.
If you are on Spotify, I do upload the video there, so you're able to watch the video there as well. But watching live, get interacted. We interact a little bit with chat as much as we can, and definitely appreciate it. And then every single Saturday, we stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a different game every week. This week we're playing Schedule 1 again. So we're going to be playing that, and I think next week we're playing Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. So we're going to be spicing it up a little bit, But after that, we might end up going back to schedule 1 again. It just depends on what we want to do. I usually leave that up to Mark on what he wants to play. But yeah, so definitely check out the live streams every single Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we are live with the podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So we appreciate everybody watching. Thank you all. Great episode for 130. Awesome stuff. And we'll see you all later.
Peace.